In the morning when I'm driving, I really come alive when I listen to my Ronnie, I listen to my Ronnie Q. They are rare and they are few who can compare with Ronnie Q. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for Ronnie Q. They are rare and they are few who can compare with Ronnie Q. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for Ronnie Q. Ronnie Q. It's time for Ronnie Q. Ronnie Q. It's time for Ronnie Q. In the morning while I'm driving, Ronnie, I really come alive when it's time for Ronnie Q. I listen to my Ronnie, Ronnie. I listen to my Ronnie. It's time for Ronnie Q. Take a seat and go meet Ronnie. Sweet, 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 sweet Ronnie. No day complete without my Ronnie. She can't be beat. Sweet, sweet Ronnie.
Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Thank you all for being here. Please hit the like button on your way in. I appreciate you who appreciate me. All right, let's see who we have here. Truth and Reason. It's been a while. It's good to see you. The Brand New, thank you for being here. Madison, Grand Rising. Foot Soldier, it is also good to see you as well. So, I'm going to put up my goals. My goals are always the same. If you've learned something new that is helpful to you, you can hit up a goal or not. Hold on one second. Something new would be something that could help you in how you actually live your life. That's why I'm here. Trying to, those are my goals. Okay. One second. Okay. Here we go. So, if you guys remember a couple of weeks ago, maybe it was a while ago. I was referencing a couple of things, and it was Stumped Down was one of the people I was talking about, and I started talking about he reminded me of a dandy. And do you guys remember what a dandy is? I was in the hospital. Oh my gosh. Practically in ICU. Oh my God. I am happy you are alive as well. I was like, I haven't seen Truth and Reason. I saw you I don't know, recently, and I was like, I haven't seen Truth and Reason. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just glad that you're well. Hey, Kimberly Black. God is good all the time. Uh, thank God. Yeah. So you I did notice that you weren't around. I am just so glad to hear that all is well with you. Truth and reason. Okay. You were missed. Okay, so if you guys remember me talking a couple of weeks ago, I started talking about the dandies. Who remember what a dandy was? Can anybody tell me if you remember me talking about the dandies? Nobody? Nobody, baby. Y'all want me to sing Foot Soldier? What's a dandy? It's a foot soldier. Do you want me to sing? Nobody. It's not a flower. Nobody. A dandy. They're going to be celebrating dandies today at the Met Gala. I had uh, been disinterested in the Met Gala and all the theatrics behind it because it became so overly theatrical. Uh, a one-upmanship as opposed to uh, the real essence of what the Met Gala had started out to be. First, I was just like, I don't know. Okay, so I also talked to you about this one should be quite interesting because it also is going to be dedicated to the dandy. That is the sharp dress. Usually a black male with the hats and the fitted suits and all of that high society with the black spin on it. It's not really high society. It's really the sharp attention grabbing dressing dressing well in suits, not dressing in street couture, none of that. So it has a African American theme this year. So let me share this with you for those of you who may not remember me talking about this. I said that Stomp Down put me in the frame of mind of a dandy, and even he was like, he dropped down. Okay, so I'll share this with you. The Met Gala's Black Dandyism theme came at the perfect time, historians say, and I would concur. Okay, so here we go.
This year for the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute Spring Exhibit is Superfine Tailoring Black Style, based on the history of the Black dandy. The theme is vibrant, bold, debonair, packed with cultural and historical significance, easily displaying the impact Black culture has had on the world of fashion. Joining me now is Shelby Ivy Christie, fashion and custom historian.
Thank you so much for having me, Rev. I'm ready to talk fashion with you.
All right. Can you tell us about the historical significance of the Black dandy and what it means to showcase this fashion art form at the Met Gala? I give Anna Wintour and them a lot of credit for doing this.
Yeah, I mean, this is an exciting theme, right? We're getting our first Black theme, really Black inclusive theme at the Met. And dandyism is perfectly timed, I think, and it's a perfect topic for the Met to really assert and cover because Black dandyism at its core is when Black people are taking what isn't meant for them, right? Whether that's dress, whether that is clothing, whether that is their personal style, and using that to make a statement about who they are, about their politic, right, about their sexuality, about their gender identity, taking what isn't meant for you and kind of remixing it and tweaking it and making it Black is kind of the essence of who Black people are, right? It's at the core of what streetwear is, taking a scrap here, taking a piece there, putting it together and freaking it and making it a Black expression of dress. So dandyism is really in that spirit, right? It's using dress as a way to express something about yourself personally and your Black body and your Black experience, but also it is a form of resistance, right? It is subverting the things that aren't meant for you, whether that's messaging in society, whether that's your class as a Black person, whether that is combating racism. It's using dress and personal style to really combat all of those things.
Now, the history of Black dandyism is deeply intertwined with the politics of race, power, and representation. Do you think that this theme has been chosen now because of the current political climate?
I think so, and I would hope so. I mean, we're in a time where, we are facing erasure against Black institutions and Black historical institutions. We're seeing African-American studies taking out of curriculums, right? We are seeing anti-Blackness on the rise. And so I think it is a really poignant choice for the Met and for Vogue to choose this as a theme, because amplifying Black stories in an accurate way, right, historically accurate, to see Blackness documented in a meaningful way by such a monumental American institution, I think this is so timely and important as we're combating book bans and all of these things.
I think of Andre Talley, who
Yeah, we see you think of Andre Leon Talley. You had him in your little clips 500 times. Andre Leon Talley was dapper when he was a smaller man, but my God, how many times are you gonna have Andre Leon Talley picture up here in those capes that he was wearing at the end of his life? He was a fine dresser. He was in fashion, but come on, let's dedicate this to the real history of this, with all of these music awards people on the red carpet. Get the fuck out of here, Al Sharpton. I think I just rest in peace, Andre Leon Talley. This is not a modern thing. This I wish he had shown pictures, more pictures from where this actually started from. Listen, Al is always reaching for the most recent thing. Let me see.
Was a noted historic Black designer who did this show several times.
Andre Leon Talley was not a designer.
Times before he passed, and others, Black designers, not getting the kind of exposure they should, and they will tomorrow. As I said, I'll be wearing Aisha McShaw design. Other designers will be there. The Met has emphasized the dress code, though, is inclusive, encouraging gala attendees to pick a look that is tailored for you, whoever you are and whatever race. We know Black style can be imitated, but never duplicated. What do you think the exposure this event is giving to a lesser known part of the Black experience will push the culture forward?
Yeah, I think talking about Black contributions to fashion is super important. It's what I've dedicated my life's work to do as a fashion and costume historian, because fashion is not just a frivolous thing that sits at the surface level of who we are every day. It is the one thing as people we all participate in, right? From the day that we're born on into our adulthood and every day of our life, we're getting up and making a decision about what we wear. And that is an important decision, because the physicality of who we are in our dress communicates all these messages about who we are before we even open our mouth. So I think the Met really choosing to amplify this niche piece of American history and Black history is really important, because And it's also validating and I think co-signing that Black people do take pride in our appearance, that we are intentional about how we want to appear out into the world. And I think it is giving some really great space and kind of conversation around, as you mentioned, lesser known Black designers or Black industry titans that have been driving kind of the background of fashion, like a Andre Leon Talley, someone who is Southern, who is Black, who talked about church being his first, Black church being his first fashion influences. So I think it's very poignant.
No, Andre Leon Talley was very much church-based.
Okay. Thank you, Truth and Reason. I just wanted to tell you that a dub Bagagi, Grand Rising, welcome. Should have done some research. It seems like he just skimmed through it for the segment. And he said, yes, I concur. I did, let me see if I can find the original clip on the Black Dandies that I showed for you. They were talking about it being an upcoming event for the Met Gala. Let's try this, a news segment. Oh, I don't know. Okay, this is 3 minutes. This is the one that I initially introduced in talking about this subject. Yes, this is the one I introduced. Let's watch this.
Countdown to the first Monday in May has officially begun.
The Spring 2025 Costume Institute exhibition will explore the Black Dandy. So what is a Black Dandy? Fashion and dress have been used in a contest of power and aesthetics for Black people from the time of enslavement to today. And dandyism has often been used by individuals to manipulate the relationship between clothing, identity, and power. Style and its role in forming Black identities in the Atlantic diaspora is at the heart of the show.
I'm Andrew Bolton, and along with guest curator Monica Miller, we're extremely excited to introduce the Costume Institute Spring 2025 exhibition. The show is inspired by Monica's 2009 book, Slaves to Fashion, Black Dandyism and the Styling of Black Diasporic Identity.
My book and research explores the cultural history of the Black Dandy, from the concept's historical origins to his emergence during the 18th century and his contemporary incarnations.
In recent years, we've witnessed somewhat of a renaissance in menswear, spurred on by both established and emerging designers, as well as prominent men of style who've been more willing to take risks with their self-presentation. The show will explore the Black Dandy as both a concept and an identity signifier. Monica's research invites us to examine men's fashion, not only in terms of race, but also in terms of class, gender, and sexuality.
I'm thrilled to be working with Andrew and the Met on this exhibition. Historically, the term dandy was used to describe someone, often a man, who was extremely devoted to aesthetics and approached it as a lifestyle. Dandyism.
Okay, yes, this was one of my Black History features. Every day in February, I did a highlight in Black History. I just needed to break this up a little bit. We're halfway through. Thank you all for coming in. I appreciate you. Please hit the like button. Let's continue.
Has been used to think positively about Black people, their ambitions and aspirations, and negatively about those very same aspirations. It was imposed on Black men in Europe during the 1700s as the Atlantic slave trade created a trend in fashionably dressed or dandified servants. Free and enslaved Black people came to understand the power of clothing and style in signaling hierarchies of race, class, and gender. Over time, dandyism gave Black men and women an opportunity to use clothing, gesture, irony, and wit to transform their identities and imagine new ways of embodying political and social possibilities. The exhibition explores how the history of Black dandyism illustrates the transformation from being enslaved and stylized as luxury items, acquired like any other signifier of wealth and status, to autonomous, self-fashioning individuals who are global trendsetters. Through the stories of stylish Black individuals, the exhibition will be organized around a group of concepts that define a Black dandy, but are not definitive. You can expect to see historical and contemporary garments and accessories, alongside drawings and prints, paintings, photographs, and more that have been instrumental to the formation and understanding of Black identities and experiences during this time. Once you know about it, you see Black dandyism everywhere and in different modes. We want visitors to see elements of themselves and their families reflected in the exhibition, while also considering the power of fashion, its freedoms and limitations for ourselves and society.
Okay, I'm gonna drop this link. I'm gonna drop this link in the chat. Grand Rising, Very Carrie. So you guys may want to go over there and check it out this year. I'm also gonna drop this link in my description box. I had only put Al in my description box, but I'm going to put them in there as the number 1 example, and Al would be the number 2 example of dandyism. Okay, that I'm doing that right now. Okay, it's in the description box if you need to find this clip. It is the first clip of the morning. I hope you guys had a great weekend. No comments? Anybody want to discuss anything about that? I think that it is. It is an excellent time for this. No matter how much they try to take the contributions of Blacks out of the American history and fabric, I think that is important for us to know and remember how important our own history is, from medicine to engineering, all the way down to the clothes that we put on our back have sparked the theft of our identity from the ones who choose to try to erase our importance. So I think that it is imperative that we understand our importance in American society, from the fact that we built it to the fact that everything that we do to try to make our own, not to try to make our own, has been pillaged by others. So I think that it's a great time for Black dandyism. It is actually also an exhibit at the Met as well. So any of you in and around New York City, you may want to go and visit the exhibit while it is up. So that's what's happening today at the Met Gala. Grand Rising, Queen Diva. It's good to see you. If I did not thank Truth and Reason, thank you for helping me meet my goals. My goals is to give you information that you may find helpful in the way that you live your life today. Okay, so this has been a busy weekend. Usually, people take a break on their on the weekend from trying to tear down. Well, no, I guess people who try to tear things down never take a break. So 45, 47 did not skip a beat this weekend. He was like dog shit in a ghetto dog park. He was absolutely everywhere. So let me see how long this is. I want to play a little of this for you guys. This is where we are. This is how we are starting our week. Here we go. It must be tough being an authoritarian.
It must be tough to be an authoritarian. You promise everybody the world to get elected. Prices will go down on day one. No more inflation. We're going to end Russia's war on Ukraine. The world's going to respect us. And then you get in, and even though you inherit an economy from your predecessor that's described as the envy of the world by The Economist magazine, you crash everything. The economy today is shrinking. The stock market is sinking. Inflation is soaring. $7 trillion in American retirements and wealth has been destroyed. You've plunged us with your imbecilic tariffs into a trade war with the whole world, except, of course, for your bosom buddies in Russia. So now, only 100 days in, with 100 unforced policy blunders, you're the most unpopular president at this point in your presidency in more than 80 years. Barack Obama stood at 69% in the polls. Ronald Reagan was at 73% in the polls. Truman was 87%, and Franklin D. Roosevelt, 68%. But Donald Trump is at 39%, the lowest 100-day approval rating since polling began. He controlled the agenda for 100 days. He controlled the House. He controlled the Senate. He's got everything going for him, and his numbers are in the gutter. So now he reaches back into the authoritarian playbook. Go back and please the wealthiest people and corporations in the country. House Republicans want to cut hundreds of billions of dollars from Medicaid, food assistance for mothers and children, veterans benefits, Meals on Wheels, Head Start, any programs that help actual people, all in order to pay for another gargantuan tax break for the president's billionaire benefactors. And here in the Judiciary Committee, our good friends want to help Donald Trump use his power in violation of the Constitution that we are all sworn to uphold and defend against enemies, foreign and domestic. Every day, the administration uses immigration enforcement as a template to erode constitutional rights and liberties. They round up people in the street and disappear them to the torture prison of a foreign dictator without 1 minute of due process, sweeping up completely innocent people who have no criminal record and no criminal charges, in the midst of other people who may have criminal records and criminal charges and should stand prosecution for them if they do have charges against them. They're stripping college and graduate students at American universities of their visas for writing op-eds that the administration disagrees with. They invoke emergency wartime powers like the Alien Enemies Act to fight a military invasion at the border while telling us that the border has never been safer than it is right now. My colleagues say all these measures are necessary to deport gang members, violent criminals, the worst of the worst. But they're not targeting the worst of the worst. They're arresting judges now. They're using federal agents to round up law-abiding members of the community with no criminal records, parents of American children, husbands and wives of American spouses, people who've not been shown to pose any public safety threat at all. They're breaking into cars to arrest mothers as their children's watch in terror. They're arresting people who are coming in for their citizenship interviews. They're staking out people's homes and trolling through IRS taxpayer data in search of tax-paying people to deport. Look, we know how to remove people from the country who should not be here. President Biden's administration did that. We know how to do it legally, consistent with the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. But the Trump administration has discarded the rule of law. If he can sweep non-citizens off the street and fly them to a torturer's prison in El Salvador with no due process, he can do it to citizens too. Because if there's no due process, if there's no fair hearing, you've got no opportunity to object. And indeed, several American citizen children, including one with cancer, were flown to Honduras last week with no due process, as a Trump-appointed judge in Louisiana found. Now the courts have issued more than 95 preliminary injunctions and temporary restraining orders against this reign of lawlessness. But Republicans want to enable President Trump to keep going. This Judiciary Committee bill seeks to strip the courts of their power to hold an administration in contempt when the president violates explicit judicial court orders. And it doesn't stop there.
So he's speaking on the fact that President Trump wants to sign an executive order that will prevent the courts from holding him in contempt of court, like he is right now, like he has been even before the Supreme Court said that he must bring that man back. He was in contempt of court when he continued to let those planes fly to El Salvador. So the fact that they're letting it go so long without holding him straight up in contempt of court, as if they need a week or so to gather information and all of this stuff, and he's arresting judges. And I played for you last week where he set his ass up in the Oval Office with all of those for-profit caps laid out in front of everyone in his administration, hawking made in China caps to us, as he put a tariff on us that he says that he doesn't care. It would be okay if there is a recession. Okay, so this, while he's hawking his wares, while he's using the office to make money by telling anybody who buys his crypto coin, the top 25 people will be in a running to get a private tour of the White House. All of this type of stuff going on, but he wants to make sure that he's insulated. And the Supreme Court is the one who started this shit when they gave in presidential powers ruling while Biden was still in office. They said that a president can do anything that he thinks that is in the power of the president, and he does not have to consult anyone. So you can't have it both ways, Supreme Court of the United States. Those, I think it was a 6-3. It was either a 6-3 opinion or a 5-4 opinion. All of the right-wing justices said that, yes, he can do whatever he wants to do as long as he thinks it's in his power. And now look at what we have here. Let's continue. Now he's trying to say that you can't even hold him in contempt of court. And his lackey, Stephen Miller. You remember Stephen Miller? I've played his ramblings on here several times. I've asked why, which made me ask, were his administration being drug tested? Because Stephen Miller, you may remember the Stephen Miller from nothing else but saying that the Supreme Court's 9-0 decision against Trump was a 9-0 decision for Trump, that Trump had actually won that decision when 9 of the judges said that he must facilitate bringing this man back. Stephen Miller sat his ass up in the White House and told you how they had actually won that ruling from the Supreme Court. Now, Stephen Miller has a lawsuit. Well, not him personally. His group that he created, I forget the name of the group. I'm going to play a clip of that for you. They have a lawsuit against the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Go figure. So saying that the Supreme Court has no, the Supreme Court has no power. There's no equal power of governments. No, the Supreme Court's power falls under the presidential power. So yes, he has a lawsuit against the chief. I can't stand him either. I swear, it's just a mess. So what's gonna happen? All of this, there has been no laws passed, nothing. Everything has been done by executive order. Has that been missed on anybody here? And we're going to talk about this budget. That's the next thing we're going to talk about. Let's start talking about this budget right now. This link is in my. Let me let him finish his thought, and then we're going to talk about 45-47's budget.
Well, they tried to defund the courts. They're forking over an astonishing $81 billion to the administration for more of these immigration roundups. The legislation includes a whopping $45 billion for ICE on top of its annual budget of $9 billion for family and adult detention centers alone. This bill is a blank check to the administration to do more of what we've already seen. And to make matters worse, as they race to spend more than 81 additional billion dollars on this, Trump's own DOJ is terminating hundreds of millions of dollars in existing grants. They're cutting funding for county, state, and local law enforcement. They're cutting funding for opioid addiction treatment programs. They're cutting funding for crime prevention, and they're cutting funding for victims of rape, sexual assault, and violent crimes. The grants being cut support local police in solving and preventing crime. They help the survivors of abuse and assault navigate the legal system, and yet they're being wiped out by the Department of Justice. They're also trying to handcuff the agencies that work to make sure our food and drugs are safe and our air and water are clean. The REINS Act is buried in here. It would prevent the government from enforcing our civil rights, protecting workplace safety, and guarding against misconduct by banks. It would require both houses of Congress and the president to approve every major rule from our agencies to take effect, virtually guaranteeing no effective regulatory action on any subject. They've also tucked the Midnight Rules Relief Act in here, which would allow Republicans to bundle hundreds of regulations all together into a single package and vote them down on a single jumbo resolution, which would be used to hide the most destructive deregulatory votes among dozens of others, completely burying it in darkness. Look, this version of an authority.
Okay. That was a lot said in there, and all of this deregulation, who does it help and who does it harms? It harms the American people. There are regulations, there are safety regulations because it keeps you and I safe. To the point that they are not ashamed to say that they are cutting the inspectors of our food. They brag about cutting EPA restrictions as that is something good for us. When we know it's not going to bother them because they're not going to release the regulations on clean air and clean water where the millionaires and billionaires live. But you regular people, y'all old regular folks. Okay. Let's talk about the budget. Have you guys seen this budget that 45-47 has introduced? Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. I have a couple of more things set up. It seems like crackpot 45-47 is a little exhausted. It seems like this has been a hard weekend for him. So let's see what's going on with the crackpot 45-47. He was texting early this morning, and I want you guys to hear what he was actually texting. Now he's already said that maybe there should be 5 more prisons opened up for the homegrown in El Salvador. So let's see what he's talking about this morning on his live social media.
90% of people over 40 are doing this wrong.
I gotta get through this commercial.
This is how to get in shape fast.
He looks beaten down.
Okay, let me share this with you. Oh, I am sharing it. Okay, let's get into this. I want you to hear the only thing that he has for the American people. Everybody is either his friends, but I don't know that person when it comes time to separate himself from these people, or rich people that he admires so much, and all these are the only people that matters. There's no in between. Everybody else can be painted with whatever broad brush they choose to paint you as. Yes, you too. Not just blacks, not just Hispanics. Anybody he chooses to uh, just paint with a broad brush. He doesn't have to prove anything just by him repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. God knows if you say one thing more than once, it must be true. This is how this fool governs.
He looks utterly fatigued as he panic posts throughout the day in his dumpster fire of a presidency, the worst ever, post after post, oddity after oddity, dangerous, vile trash after dangerous, vile trash. Posts like this yesterday: rebuild and open Alcatraz. For too long, America has been plagued by vicious, violent, and repeat criminal offenders, the dregs of society. He then goes on to say, this is why today I'm directing the Bureau of Prisons, together with the Department of Justice, FBI, Homeland Security, to reopen a substantially enlarged and rebuilt Alcatraz. That's what he's talking about. You know, Donald Trump, waste, fraud, and abuse, that Alcatraz was something that was overly expensive and really wasn't doing anything good. That's why it was shut down as part of the national park system right now. What are you doing talking about opening up Alcatraz? Oh, and then Donald Trump is posting photos of Alcatraz right now. Then Donald Trump posts the following: the movie tariffs on foreign movie production. That's what Donald Trump's thinking about. I don't even know how that would work. It was when it arrives on the ship, when the movie arrives on the ship, Donald, he goes, the movie industry in America is dying. That's all in caps. A very fast death. Our other countries are offering all sorts of incentives to draw our filmmakers and studios away from the United States. Hollywood and many other areas within the USA are being devastated. This is a concerted effort by other nations and therefore a national security threat, he says. It is, in addition to everything else, messaging and propaganda. Therefore, I am authorizing the Department of Commerce and the United States Trade Representative to immediately begin the process of instituting a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign lands. We want movies made in America again. In other words, if you make a movie in another country, 100% tariff. How's that going to even work? When the director shows up back into the United States, you're going to tariff the director? What in the world is this guy doing? And then you have Howard Lutnick, who some people refer to as Nutlick. Here's why. He goes, we're on it. As our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, who coined the name Nutlick, says, because of course he is. Donald Trump then posts, it is time for Howie Kurtz to retire. Every woke anchor in the business, people that no one watched from CNN, MSDNC, and others, are plastered all over his show with all really negative and fake statements. And then I am weakly defended by Howie and his group. Although Ben Dominic has been strong, the case Howie makes for me is so pathetic that it would be a lot better if he didn't say anything at all anyway. That's the way it is. Also on Trump's social media platform, lots of advertisements for Trump knives these days. Everywhere you look there's a Trump knife for sale with Trump's name on it. Donald Trump then posts late last night, I don't need to have Karl Rove of Fox News tell me what to do. That guy's a total loser who's been wrong about almost everything. Now, of course, this follows Donald Trump posting AI images of himself as the Pope, deeply offending the Catholic community and just anybody who has a shred of decency, regardless of if you're Catholic or even regardless if you're religious. It's like, what the hell are you doing, Donald? And then earlier today, the official White House account posted the following: Donald Trump AI that looks nothing like him with bulging muscles and the red Sith lightsaber. And then they go, happy May 4th to all, including radical left lunatics who want 222. They say 2 all over again. Fighting hard, 2-2 brings Sith lords, murderers and drug lords, dangerous prisoners and gang members to the U.S. Hey, Donald, you know you have the red Sith lightsaber right there? So then Donald Trump took a flight back from vacationing again on the taxpayer dime, right? Donald Trump was in Mar-a-Lago.
If anybody wants to know why he pointed out that he had the red lightsabers, and somebody need to point out why he had all those muscles. The red lightsaber is the lightsaber of the evil people, and he He's sitting up there with his red lightsaber. I think he knows that. I do think he knows that.
Partying it up, lavish parties. There was an RNC spring retreat at Mar-a-Lago. So Donald Trump double dipping, triple dipping, quadruple dipping while he's doing deals with Qatar for Trump resorts, while the Abu Dhabi fund is using Trump's crypto, as you have Don Jr. Doing clubs that are called the executive branch, $500,000 a member to join the executive branch with Dave.
I wanted to talk about that. I forgot to talk about that. Donald Trump Jr. Has a club. Remember Donald Trump Jr., who was out there sticking his hand in his pocket and then rubbing his finger across his gums and then licking his gums. That Don Jr. has a new club that you can join, an exclusive club. You can join for only a little over $500,000. Sounds like some party. Sounds like some horses gonna be trotting through that party. Just not just any horses, white horses. Can you imagine what fun this club will be?
Sachs, the crypto czar. You have Donald Trump doing lavish parties at Mar-a-Lago on the taxpayer dime, where Trump's staff is being housed. And then you now have the RNC spring retreat, so they're paying Donald Trump as well. A massive, massive grift going on there. So Trump vacations, he comes back to Washington, D.C., and he spends his time on the flight back, like attacking reporters, specifically the Wall Street Journal, because the Wall Street Journal's reporting on the failure of Trump's trade war against the world. So here Donald Trump looks at the Wall Street Journal reporter and goes, "You're rotten. You're a rotten person. Your newspaper is rotten." Watch a severely demented and dangerous and vile Donald Trump attack the Wall Street Journal reporter. Let's play it.
Who you with? That's what well, you people beat us up, man. Wall Street Journal has truly gone to hell. Go ahead. It's a rotten newspaper. You hear me what I said? It's a rotten newspaper. I wouldn't tell the Wall Street Journal because it'd be wasting my time. There are dogs, but I don't want to talk to the Wall Street Journal. Look, Wall Street Journal.
He asked if he would talk about any deals being made in this tariff. But this idiot is up there. You treated me so badly. You're a terrible paper. And were we to believe that all of this deweaponizing the Department of Justice was really a thing with him when he signed this executive order, when he thinks that this is the way that he can talk to real news reporters who are reporting the facts. So he's making it clear, throw the Associated Press out of the press pool entirely, because it would not call the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America. And has a whole lot of right-wing Nazi sympathizers, YouTubers sitting in the front chairs of the press room now. This is the president. Now, none of this is. This shit is absolutely crazy. This shit should be absolutely frightening that they're trying to normalize all of this insane behavior. As this man is telling you nobody should have power over him. And if they think they do, he's taking them to court. And he's not following the court anyway. So, and all of these Republicans who are sitting over there, these congressmen and senators who are sitting over here, not signing articles of impeachment, not striking up any articles of impeachment, not striking up the 25th Amendment on him. What positions do they think they're gonna hold? What position? I'm being really serious. Everybody's talking about 2026 midterm elections. I think he will cancel the midterm elections because he already knows these midterm elections are not going to do him any good. These ones who stay silent on all of this, Do you think that Elon Musk is going to have to get somebody to primary them? No, he's not. The people will not vote these people back in. Who doesn't understand this? And they still staying silent because they just want to be next to power. They just don't want to go back home to the district that they come from, that they are supposed to represent and live a regular life. They're sick with power as well. Let's keep it a buck. Do they think that those people that no, they don't give a fuck? Because if they gave a fuck, they would be going back home on their breaks and doing town halls with the people who have them sitting up in Washington. You know, it's another world living in Washington than it is in some rural town that you've been sent from. It's a whole nother game when you can go to all of these restaurants and have hobnob with all these lobbyists who's licking your ass and taking you on jaunts to this place and that place and having you over for parties and all of that. You know, that's not no rural America type of shit that they're being treated to. You think they want to go back? No, they're going to ride the wave. I tell you. Let's see what this idiot is saying.
Is China oriented, and they're really bad for this country. Go ahead.
Now, this is a line that Donald Trump's been repeating over and over again. It's one of his main talking points where he goes, little girls, beautiful little girls, he says, which is creepy in and of itself. He goes, I don't see why they want $35. They should have $2 and they should pay more money for their dolls. And why do they want 250 pencils? Use 5 pencils. What are you doing? What are these little girls doing? You take your $2, you take your 5 pencils, and you shut up, little girls. That's what Donald Trump's been saying over and over again. Here he is saying it on the flight last night. Play the clip.
Top chefs are switching to this titanium cutting board, and the big kitchen
Okay.
brands.
So this link isn't. Let me see if there's any more. Hold on. I want to see if there's something new.
Is that you don't have a young lady, 10-year-old girl, 9-year-old girl, 15-year-old girl doesn't need $37. You can be very happy with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. I would. Let's not waste a lot of time on this stupid question. What else?
We're gonna waste that time. We're gonna waste that time on that stupid question because it was you who was asked. Do you think that tariffs are gonna bring prices up? And hey, Kina, Grand Rising, long time no see. Good to see you. So it was you who brought up when they asked you were tariffs going to bring up the prices of goods for American people. And you were the one who said, now the girl has gone between the ages of 9 and 15. When you first said it, see, he repeats things over and over again. When he first said it, the girl was 11. And who needs $30? What 11-year-old girl needs $30? And maybe they should be happy with $2 or $3. And maybe the dolls will cost $1 or $2 more. Okay. So let's break this down. Let's isolate his answer to the comment of will there be the tariff cost the American people more money. So I'm pretty sure Ivanka probably did have $30, but no other person, unless they are a doll collector, unless they want their children to collect dolls, unless their children has expressed that they want to collect dolls. Let's take it even further. I don't know too many children who are even playing with dolls like that. First of all, most children are playing with electronic things, but the ones who have dolls, the ones who want to give their children a doll for Christmas are kind of usually lower on the economic ladder, and they're not buying the real Barbie, they're buying the fake Barbie in the first place. But okay, let's get back on track. So they can't have 30 Barbies. They may have to settle with 2 or 3 Barbies, and those 2 or 3 Barbies may cost them a buck or two more. So let's look on the Barbie scale of a doll scale of things. So what if we're talking about money for gas? They can't have 30 gallons of gas. Maybe they can have 2 or 3 gallons, and that 2 or 3 gallons may cost them that much more. So you can't have 30 gallons of gas, but you can only have 2 or 3 gallons of gas. That's costing you more when you're accustomed to having 30 gallons of gas. So that's what he's saying. And without saying it, that's what you're saying. You can't afford to buy $30. You can have 2 or 3, and they're gonna cost you a buck or two more. Well, if they're only gonna cost you a buck or two more, how come you can't have 28, 27, 26, 25, 24? Obviously, they're gonna cost you more than a buck or two more if you can only get 2 or 3 when you're accustomed to getting 30. Am I wrong? Am I the only one I mean, that's what he said. That's what he said. And he's trying to make it seem like no, this not going to cost the American people nothing. So that link, I don't think this link is in. I think that link is in my description box. Hey, Kina. Room Shaker. Hey, Room Shaker. The Wall Street Journal, his friend Murdoch owns it. He's been swiping at the Wall Street Journal for a couple of weeks now, and he is furious that Fox News is not backing him hard enough. They're not going after people who give the actual real polls. You know, he's very pissed that Fox News is presenting the polls as accurate data. So the Wall Street Journal has nothing coming. I found out his granddaddy was a brothel keeper. Don Jr. is as sleazy as his orange father. Okay. Yes, girl, the club. The sad thing is that 20 million stayed home. The sad thing. I think I may still have it here. I don't think I deleted. That's the very sad thing. You had people bouncing around over here in this area of YouTube, screaming the greatness of 45, 47, because they want to act like they're these unicorn Negroes that are so refined, more refined than you common folk down here. And meanwhile, their own daddy may have been sent back to Bangladesh while they out here. This is let me see. While they out here talking this craziness. Oh, here it is right here. While they're out here talking all of the craziness, not having a conversation, just yelling and screaming. So the other person cannot be heard about all the greatness of 45 and 47. Just to come back now when shit is falling in the toilet. No, I said I supported him. I never said I voted. If I voted, I would say I did. And so at the point where somebody cannot tell you any policy that they admired of him prior to the election, I have no conversation for you, because anybody with common sense who listened to him knew he had no policies. He had absolutely no policies other than deporting people back to their hometown. Okay. So, but now he's deporting them to El Salvador prisons. They have nothing to say. And now that he's saying that they should open up 5 more prisons for homegrown, they have nothing to say. Okay, so this is the ignorance that runs around on this beef sector, just talking shit, trying to be somebody who they aren't. Hey, Joyce Goodwin. I saw that interview about the dolls. Wasn't that crazy? But you have to use another word for doll. You have to use money for your utility bill and make that make sense. Since he wants to equate dolls that unless you're a doll collector, you're not having 30 dolls every Christmas anyway. We're talking about regular things that people use every day. We're not talking about Christmas gift. Nobody is going to be gifted 30 dolls at a time. No one needs 30 dolls. But no, we need electricity every day. We need gas every day. We need food every day. So all of this couching things and unreasonable examples is bullshit. Okay. A woman who has over 30 dolls and a daughter who has a large doll collection, he needs to, as a woman who has over 30 dolls and a daughter who has a large doll collection, he needs to shut the fuck up. Oh, my daughter draws a lot and has a large pen and marker collection. He makes me sick. A viewer's view, he said that nobody should have over 25 pencils. I guess he'd be aghast at a viewer's view with her pencils, markers, and all of this. God forbid, he's acting as every child gets 30 dolls for Christmas or 30 dolls every day. What are you talking about, 30 dolls? That doesn't even make sense. Trying to make it seem like if you have a child and they have 30 dolls, you are in excess. You are doing things in excess. And just get 2 or 3. It went from 2 or 3, and then it went to 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. It went from 11 years old to maybe 9 to 15 years old. The story is being repeated, but it's changing a little bit to encompass more people. It's bullshit. Okay, so let's look. Now let's look at this budget. Why don't we? I want to look at this budget. I want you guys to see some of the things that are in this budget for yourselves. If you haven't seen it, we're going to take a look at the budget. This is in my description box. The name of this, apparently Doge wasn't enough. Trump wants massive cuts to education, health, and housing. Let's hear a little bit of this while I pull up the actual budget.
Usually here in Washington about which is a reduction in the expected increase or even a 1 or 2 point haircut on these programs. We're talking about tens of billions of dollars from the National Institutes of Health and the Housing and Urban Development Agency. So you had a big list there. I think we're talking about basically a 20% cut, maybe a little bit more than that in discretionary spending. This is unheard of. No one's ever seen anything like this. It is responsive to Donald Trump's base. It is responsive to Russ Vought, the director of the Office of Management and Budget, basically the kinds of budgets that he used to write when he was the budget guy for the Republican Study Committee, which at the time was the extreme right-wing group in the House, and its budgets never got more than a handful of votes. So we're seeing the dream of Donald Trump to slash the federal government, to cut taxes for the wealthy, and we will see what Congress says about it. But for the time being, I think there is a clear direction of President Donald Trump to destroy as much as he can of the federal government as fast as he can.
Well, Angela, you have Politico calling these cuts unprecedented, but I mean, all 4 of us know these are not surprising. A lot of this is straight out of Project 2025. Russell Vought had been telegraphing that this is what they wanted to do if they came back into power. There was a playbook, and now they are running the playbook, Angelo.
Yeah, I mean, they listed all the things they're going to do. Nothing in here is even remotely, sort of from out of left field. I mean, they are getting basically everything they wanted in terms of their first wave of cuts and reductions and gutting, and that is an intentional part of the plan. The other thing too is that they're buoyed not just by the sort of whatever sort of confidence they have now in this whatever authoritarian bent. They're also buoyed by history and a track record. This is not the first time. I mean, in 2017, a similar thing happened in his first term. The budget had all these tax cuts in there. It was a deeply unpopular budget. Everyone's like, well, everyone's going to be mad at Trump over this. Did they promise that the tax cuts were going to pay for themselves? None of that came true. The only thing that came true was that rich people got a massive tax cut out of Trump's bill that wasn't funded. And yet people still walked away with the broader feeling and impression that somehow Trump is better on the economy than an alternative Democrat would be. And that to me is the scary part about this, is that they not only think that they can jam this through, history says that they probably have a pretty good track record of not just jamming it through, but getting away with it.
Well, I mean, what was interesting to me, David Jelly, is that the initial response from Republicans was not positive across the board, both because they didn't like what they perceived to be a freeze in defense spending, but also because they have to know that some of these cuts to domestic programs, David Jelly, not going to be popular in their districts.
That's right. Many of the programs that are subject to these cuts are programs that Republican members of Congress have supported and championed in the past. And look, I do think history suggests that Congress rarely just takes the president's budget and passes it. I'm not sure there's ever been a time that they've done that. And in this case, you're talking about a proposal that starts now but would not be finally disposed of. It should be by October 1, but really it's going to be this time next year before Republican Congress actually finally disposes of this. So I think the question becomes, is this a Congress that pushes back? Because history suggests not. Donald Trump has completely emasculated Republican members of Congress and the Senate. So do we see Republican members push back at all and try to add some of their touch to this budget? Do they just plan to go along with it? But I think the biggest question of all, Alicia, is does Donald Trump even care what Congress does? And one of the themes of the first 100 days is he doesn't actually care what Congress does with the budget. The violations of the Impoundment Act, a lot of these court cases are because Donald Trump.
Does it look like he cares what Congress thinks? A lot of the money that he has stopped has already been allocated by Congress, which is Congress's job to do. And he has stopped those fundings and he's aware that Congress is the one who holds the purse, who allocates the money. And what has he done? Try to stop the money that has already been approved. So do you think he care about Congress? No, he think he can do whatever he wants. Let's continue.
Trump has said, I don't care about congressional budget authority. So in many ways, as you say, Trump presented a statement of values, a statement of priorities, and he's probably just going to go ahead and fund or defund executive agencies at his own will in violation of current law. And I'm not sure Donald Trump actually cares now what Congress does with this. This will be a very unusual year to see what Congress does with the president's budget.
I agree.
Okay, that is in my description box. We know he doesn't care about the law. So what is he going to care about their little budget thing? Let's look at the budget together. Why don't you? All of the things that he is proposing in this budget. Let's take a look. Had to make sure I wasn't on mute. What is the name of this article? Oh, this is Trump budget proposals aims to cut $163 billion mirroring Doge plan. Okay, so President 4547 unveiled a budget blueprint with $163 billion in spending cuts to non-military programs that mirror the reductions he's made from firing federal workers, which he's already made this many cuts, but he still wants more. Okay. From firing federal workers and dismantling U.S. government agencies. The proposed cuts from the next fiscal year starting October 1st would represent a 22.6% reduction from current spending, a span and array of programs dealing with the environment, education, foreign aid, healthcare. Trump's billionaire advisor, the Muskrat, and the so-called Doge department have already targeted many of those programs, which the budget aims to make permanent, even as the world's richest man plans to step back from his administration efforts. But the May 2nd proposal comes after courts have blocked many of those cuts. Even Republican lawmakers who lead Congress have begun voicing concerns about cutting some of the rejected programs. What to know as Congress starts working on Donald Trump's on 4547 big beautiful bill. This is the big beautiful bill. Who is it beautiful for? It's beautiful for the rich who they want to enact these budget cuts that he gave them his last term permanently. That's what's so big and beautiful about it for the rich. The Defense Department budget will increase by $119 billion to top $1 trillion, with the goals of strengthening security, deterring aggression from China, and revitalizing the U.S. Industrial base. The Department of Homeland Security will receive an additional $43.8 billion to secure the border as part of a multi-year commitment of $175 billion under the Trump budget plans. You know, the budget, the border that they say is secure, that there is no crossing since 47 came in office. He wants to spend that much more money. Not that much money, that much more money. He wants to allocate that much more money to a border that he says that there are hardly any crossings since he's been in office. He wants to complete a 700 I could be wrong. I think it's a 700 mile border wall for a border that he says no one's crossing. For a border that he says that has been brought under control in his first months of being president. That's this. Okay, let's just continue. I won't tear it. Overall, the budget lays out $1.7 trillion for Trump's discretionary priorities, which include the 10% drop to $1.45 trillion for non-defense programs from the amounts approved this year. But the figures are proposals rather than set in stone for the next fiscal year starting October 1st. Congress will determine spending levels, will they? And then what? And then he'll do what he want to do, like he has been since he's been in office, which Trump so far has treated as ceilings rather than requirements during debates that could last until the end of the year. Okay, let's continue. Let's see. Lawmakers will be debating tax cuts at the same time, which will complicate all discussions. Now, you never notice one time in any of this that the Republicans are always saying when the Democrats are in office that whatever they want to put in the budget, it has to be paid for. Do you hear anything about these them trying to figure out how they're going to spend all this money and still pay for the tax cuts? No, you never do. When it's about tax cuts for the rich, you don't never hear about well, it has to be paid for and we're going to have to make cuts to pay for it. And where are the cuts that they always want to make to pay for it is entitlements, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid are always the places they want to make cuts. But you don't hear nothing about paying for these tax cuts, which is going to add over 10 years, it's going to add, I can't remember, trillions of dollars to our deficit. I can't remember how many trillion. I don't want to be way off, but I think it's something like 7 trillion. Okay. I could be way off. Don't quote me. We'll find it. Lawmakers will be debating tax cuts at the same time, which will complicate all the discussion. Trump has proposed extending tax cuts from his first administration, which would otherwise expire at the end of this year. A slew of new proposals costing trillions more dollars, such as no longer taxing Social Security benefits or tips on service jobs. I don't even think that's in the bill. No tax on tips. I don't even think that's even being considered in the bill. Here's what to know about 4547 budget blueprint. The agencies facing a proposed reduction include the EPA, the Energy Department, the Department of Education, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and the Department of Health and Human Services. Trump administration has already moved to dismantle agencies such as the U.S. Agency for International Development, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the Department of Education. Trump has also fired tens of thousands of probationary workers or staffers at agencies such as Health and Human Services, but judges have temporarily blocked some of those moves, ruling that they were arbitrary or not carried out correctly. And we know that they were arbitrary, we know that they were both, because many of these people have, by judges, been ordered to be rehired. But hey, who cares about who you hire? Who cares that you firing people who inspect the food, the milk, and all of this? Who cares that you're firing scientists who are working on the bird flu, cancer research, all of this shit? No, who cares? Anyway, we've talked about that as that was going through. Okay, Trump is appealing many of those decisions and voicing confidence his decisions will be upheld at the Supreme Court. Okay. So, spending cuts sparks protests before budget release. Protests against Trump policies erupted nationwide on May 1st. Organizers accused the administration of prioritizing profits for billionaires and called for investigating working families by fully funding healthcare, housing, and public schools. It's a clear split screen between the priorities of the Trump administration and what regular people want and need, said Lisa Gilbert, co-president of Public Citizens, a consumer rights advocacy group and co-author of the Washington's rally. Let me see. Bobby Kogan, a senior director of budget and policy at the left-leaning think tank Centers for American Progress, said the proposed budget is far more extreme than cuts proposed during 47's first term. It is impossible to achieve cuts at that large without obliterating core government functions, Kogan said. Republicans have begun to question Trump's spending priorities. Trump's fellow Republicans who control Congress largely remain silent over his layoff, his dismantling agencies, but even GOP representatives have begun to voice concerns as they get to work on the details and trying to turn the president's efforts into law. So he took a big dump in y'all laps, and y'all sitting up here trying to figure out how to what do they do in Ghost? How to make that clay of shit that he dumped in your lap a good eating bowl, that y'all gonna mold that and turn that into some fantastic china. Okay. Look, no president administration don't get to dictate what's going to happen here. Congress is not the Army. Representative Tom Cole of Oklahoma, who heads the House Appropriations Committee, told reporters the president is the president, but not the commander in chief of Congress. So he's acting like he's going to do whatever he want to do. Look, no president and administration don't get to dictate what's going to happen here. That's what he says. He's from Oklahoma, Republican from Oklahoma. When have you known a Republican from Oklahoma to have an independent thought that is outside of the extreme right of the Republican Party? I don't know. Not me, never, ever. Okay. More lawmakers warn that Trump, he can't pick and choose what to spend from the spending bill. Susan Collins, who has so many, I have questions for Pete Hexel because it's very concerning. This is very concerning. So I'm so concerned about it. And the bitch vote on every motherfucking stupid ass bill that they put forth. Fuck, I'm not even gonna read what that bitch said. Ultimately, it is Congress that holds the power of the purse, Collins said in a statement. Ultimately, well, what have you been, what, bitch? There's somebody that snatched your purse a long time ago, ho, and you ain't said a motherfucking thing about it. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Trump said he would propose a military budget of more than $1 trillion, but through a primary parliamentary maneuver that defense supporters said would be a one-time infusion of funding that leaves the Defense Department losing funding compared to the inflation. Tariffs on imports from from nearly every country will help boost revenues and offset his plans to cut taxes, he said. So he said, you know, I want to give them more than $1 trillion, but it really is not going to be $1 trillion just this one time. So when have you ever heard about the Department of Defense getting less money than they had the year before? So he wants you to believe that this, it just looks like I'm increasing it to $1 trillion. But when you really look at it, you know, with all of the stuff that we're going to have to pay in tariffs, it's really not $1 trillion because a lot of that money is going to tariffs. You know, the tariffs that makes us rich. Well, then if it's making us rich, then fucking use that money. Dummy, who you think you're fooling? Okay, let's continue. So it's going to go back to regular spending after this, something that has never happened in the Defense Department history of them cutting it once it has gotten high as it's gotten, and it hasn't passed an audit in the last 7 audits. Okay, let me see. Where am I? The Senate deadlocked on April 30 and failed to approve a resolution seeking to halt 4547 tariffs, and the Commerce Department reported economy shrank during the first 3 months of the year. 3 Republicans, Collins, and Murkowski of Alaska, and Rand Paul of wait a minute. 3 senators, Collins, Murkowski, and Rand Paul of Kentucky sided with Democrats on the measure. So she did side with Democrats. Let's see how long that she always side with Democrats when it really don't matter, bitch. You don't never side with the Democrats when it matter. How Hexel shouldn't have been even over the Department of Defense, because you was concerned. The House nearly approved a spending blueprint that aims to find $1.5 trillion in spending cuts before Trump released his proposal, despite the deflections of 2 Republicans who joined Democrats in opposing the plan. Republican Victoria Sparks of Indiana and Thomas Massey of Kentucky. You remember Victoria Sparks? That was the Ukrainian woman who was in Indiana saying that immigrants don't have due process, and she was yelling and screaming, the blonde chick. She said that they should cut more. That's the only, she said that these two who didn't agree, they argued the resolution didn't cut spending enough. It's not like they were honorable in disagreeing with it. They said it didn't cut enough. Here are some of the specific changes by the agency. The Defense Department. The head of the Armed Service Committee, Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi, criticized the budget over its approach to defense spending. Trump proposed adding $119 billion under a process called reconciliation, a preliminary maneuver that allows the Senate to approve it with a straight majority rather needing the 60% majority. So he wants to give them 119 billions, but in this little caveat of giving money to the military, he wants to have a they don't have to approve it by the 60%, which they would regularly, because he's going to do it under I thought the whole bill would have to be under reconciliation then. He wants a straight majority. If it's 49 to 50, they win. Instead of the regular 60% majority. So this is bullshit. But Collins and Wicker said the administration is requesting the same $892.6 billion that it received in the current year, which would be a cut when considering inflation. The boost. So, do y'all consider Social Security's checks being cut every year because of inflation, or y'all only consider the defense budget at $892 billion being a cut? Bitch, are you crazy? Oh my God. Okay, okay. The boost Trump is proposing would be a one-time supplement rather than a permanent boost in the spending. The OMB is not requesting $1 trillion budget, Wicker said. The budget would decrease President's 45-47 military options and his negotiating leverage. I don't believe any of that. Is all that's what they say to get their foot in the door. You know how he say, you know how they say, just let me put the tip in, you know, just to get in the door. Just let me put the tip in. That's what they saying. Just let me put the tip in. Department of Homeland Security, the $43.8 billion increase for the Department of Homeland Security will fund Trump's mass deportation program, contribute to construction of a wall along the southern border, enhance security technology according to the budget. Another goal is to boost security for hosting special events such as the 2026 World Cup that concludes in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. How grand. Yes. Take money from the average people. Take money from the health services. Take money from all of that for this unnecessary shit. Don't they have sponsors? Don't they have $1 million, $1 billion sponsors for these events? Get the fuck out of my face. Education Department. The Trump signed an executive order in March to abolish the Department of Education, but some of his programs are required to continue by statute. His budget would continue to dismantle the department while preserving funding for special education, Title I, for schools with low-income families through block grants in states to the states, according to the administration official. His plan would cut $4.5 billion while consolidating 18 competitive grants program into a $2 billion block grant program. The cuts includes $335 million for preschool development programs and $80 million for teacher grants that administrative officials said were targeted for critical race theory, according to administration officials. $80 million for teacher grants. They don't. We are clear that critical race theory is a advanced college study, which is not which certainly will not affect being taught in elementary through high school. Are we clear on that? Okay. But that's what they say the $80 million in cut is for. Foreign aid. 4547 already dismantled much of the U.S. USAID, whose remaining parts will become part of the State Department. As part of the move, 4547 will cut $45 billion in foreign aid, including previous allocations that have not yet been spent, according to administration officials. Okay, funds that would continue to include the American First Opportunity Fund. What is the funds that would continue? Include the America First Opportunity Fund. The whole America First agenda. This America First, whose agenda is that? That's his very own agenda. He will continue to fund his very own agenda. Coincidentally. Okay. Which funds program in India and Jordan will receive $2.9 billion, and the Development Finance Corp, which provides loans to boost American security, and will receive $2.8 billion, according to the budget. Really? Ain't that nice? Department of Health and Human Services. Health and Human Services will suffer $33 billion in cuts, or a 26% decrease from the current spending levels after administration complaints about the response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Who was in office during the COVID-19 pandemic? So they are dissatisfied about the response during the COVID-19 pandemic. The National Institute of Health would lose nearly $18 billion after the budget accused it of wasteful spending, misleading information, risky research, and the promotion of dangerous ideologies that undermine public health. The agency will still have $27 billion for research. So let's okay. So ideologies that undermine public health. These are usually DEI ideologies that they want to say that they are trying to rid of these Department of Ideology. In the meantime, are you guys aware that the Supreme Court is deciding on the separation of church and state right now? Why are they deciding on that? It's because since he has this closed and taken down the Department of Education, the states have to educate their own people. So there is a case from Oklahoma before the Supreme Court right now, because I believe it's a Catholic school wants to get some public money for their private Catholic school, and they're saying so the argument is, well, if you want to get funding for your church school, and you don't want anyone outside to be able to say what you're allowed to teach in your school, what will you say if a more fringe school comes and they want to get funding as well from the state? They wanted to say a Muslim school. They just said a more fringe. I don't know why Muslim is fringe. What is a fringe religion? Well, if a more fringe religion wants to come to the state and also wants to get money from the state, and we not be able to tell them what they can and cannot teach because it is a private facilities that is getting state money. That's a little tidbit that I want to put in there. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention will lose $3.6 billion. The budget eliminates agency programs it called duplicative, they duplicate themselves. Or unnecessary, such as the National Center for Chronic Disease Prevention and Health Promotion, the National Center for Environmental Health, the National Center for Injury Prevention and Control, the Global Health Center, Public Health Preparedness and Response as the Preventative Health and Human Service Block Grant. So I thought that they were unsatisfied with the response to COVID, but then they turn around and they block the Public Health Preparedness and Response and Preventative Health Human Services Block Grant. Interesting. So let me see what you guys are saying to any of this. Hey, LaShonda, this is psychotic. Hey, Rockwell, I hope you go back in this live Grand Rising, Jill Comfort Zone. That's good to see you. Thank you for being here. So a whole lot. Hey, Bernice, Grand Rising. A whole lot is in this grant. Let's hear one more thing I have keyed up. I mean, this budget. I have one more thing keyed up about this budget. Hello. This is the actual. This is him presenting the budget. I have this in my description box. President 4547 fiscal year 2026 discretionary fundraising request. This is what he's requesting: rebuild our nation's military. Okay, secure the border. Amounts. It says the amount that they're asking for. Achieve America in energy dominance. When the United States were pumping more oil under Biden than they ever had in their history. But all of this stuff, American energy dominance. Get the fuck out of my face with this bullshit. If you wouldn't fuck with China and shit, you could have had regular trade with China. Okay, whatever. President Trump's fiscal year 2026 discretionary funding request: make America healthy again. Okay, but with all of these cuts to the what is it? What is he over? Health and Human Resources. You want to make health? You want to make America healthy again? Okay. The discretionary budget requests bills on the President MAHA, Make America Healthy Again Commission. The budget provides resources to the Department of Health and Human Services that would allow the secretary to tackle issues related to nutrition, physical activity, healthy lifestyles, over reliance on medication and treatments, the effects of new technology, habits, environmental impact, and food and drug quality and safety. The budget supports the creation of MAHA food boxes. Did y'all know that they're talking about giving food boxes that would be filled with commodities sourced from domestic farmers and given directly to American households? So I hope y'all able to do them food challenges on these MAHA food boxes that's gonna be coming to y'all door, instead of y'all being able to buy what you want to with your food stamps. Did y'all know that? Okay. The budget also includes resources to ensure food safety nationwide, including support for increased production and demand for services. Support our veterans. How are you going to support your veterans when you are firing, 83,000 workers at the VA? Let's see. The budget provides increase for funding for healthcare services tailored to the U.S. veterans' need, both at the Department and Veterans Affairs, medical centers, and in the community, combined with $50 billion in mandatory funding from the Toxic Exposure Fund. The budget ensures that the nation's veterans are provided with world-class health care that they deserve. In addition, veterans who qualify for access to care with local community providers would be empowered to make the choices to see them rather than having to drive to in some cases, hours to access the nearest VA facility. Oh, so you're saying that you don't have to come to the VA. They're not going to be able to go to the VA because you're firing 83,000 people. Let's keep it a buck. Oh, we're going to allow them to go to outside facilities which will not have the same VA hospital standards for these people who so greatly deserve it. Y'all going to let them go to some of these inner city clinics that give the most abundant care. Y'all gonna let the VA, the veterans that y'all care about so much, be able to go to little walk-up clinics and all that shit? Is that what y'all gonna do? Okay. I hope y'all give some of these crazy motherfuckers some mental health, because God knows we got too many walking around here crazy as a road lizard. Y'all gonna give them some mental care too? At the stop and shop for healthcare, child. Okay, so now they're trying to ensure that the veterans don't have to go far away and drive for hours to get their care. That's what they're saying. That's why they say they they have the consciousness of hey. Maybe people will need to go to somewhere that's closer to them. And, so we're going to allow them to go to other places other than the VA. You see, we care about you. So what's next? Preserve Social Security. They have the wherewithal to understand that veterans may need to go to places closer. Well, but preserving Social Security for seniors, do they have that wherewithal when they're closing Social Security departments and in rural areas that is causing some people to have the next Social Security administration in some rural areas is 3 to 4 hour drives one way? They have that they can compartmentalize who needs to drive, who can drive, who will be able to make it. Shouldn't everybody be able to make it to their appointment? But not so much with Social Security. The budget supports the 4547's promise not to touch Social Security benefits. The budget also includes significant resources for the Social Security Administration to improve customer service by expanding and improving online services and reducing customer wait times in field offices and on the phone. Budget also includes investments in program integrity to reduce fraud and abuse in Social Security programs, and an investment in artificial and AI to increase employee productivity and automate routine workloads. Okay, so they are getting rid of the humans that work in Social Security and they're turning it over to AI. How bad could that be? How bad could that be? That can't be so bad, can it? Well, let's look at United Healthcare. You remember the guy who got slain on the New York City street on his way to the board meeting to let the board know how much money they have collected from people who were signed up with United Healthcare, but because their prior authorization requirement has saved them so much money. You know, the prior authorization requirement, which turned down requests from their doctors about treatments and operations or any type of physical therapy they need, was turned down routinely by who? AI. By who? They had an AI component that turned down, I think it was 93% of the that kicked them out for because of no prior authorization. And that did what? That saved the insurance company money because most people did not fight these denials. Most people, we talked about this when that thing with United Healthcare happened. Most people, when denied by this AI system that didn't give a fuck about you, that was only there to make sure that they could have the highest amount of denials. Why? Because so the shareholders can get the highest amount of what? Profits, and which United Healthcare went on to get that year, even though dude laid out on the street and blood out with. And who was he? He was the one who had the bright idea about putting AI in the Medicare Advantage program. That the Medicare Advantage program, which is the program which covers seniors and people on Medicare. That's who laid out. Who was laid out on the street? Do you understand? That's who was laid out on the street, and that's why. Okay, but they're going to incorporate it actually into Social Security program. They did it via private insurance. But hey, maybe if we streamline K through 12 education funding and promote parental choice, the budget committees continues the process of shutting down the Department of Education. The budget maintains full funding for Title I. I read this already. Oh, wait a minute. Did I read this? Oh, wait a minute. I read this in the paper edition. I didn't read this in their actual wording. Okay. The budget maintains full funding for Title I, which provides federal finance and assistance to school districts for children from low-income families and special education, providing special education funding under the Individuals with Disabilities Act to limit the federal role in education and provide states with more flexibility. The budget creates a new K through 12 simplified funding program that consolidate 18 competitive and formula grant programs into a new formula grant. The Special Education Simplified Funding Program that consolidates 7 IDEA programs into a single grant. Okay, so hey, I don't have any children. I don't have any special needs children. I hope these special need children, the parents of these special need children who ran their fat asses around these YouTube streets, touting the goodness of 45, 47, and had nothing that they can say that was policy correct or even policy adjacent about 45, 47. The one who won to act like she's a unicorn and she's more like what is it? A rhinoceros or a water? What is that thing? A hippopotamus? She kind of looked like a hippopotamus. With the space between the teeth, just the molars showing and shit. I hope that fat bitch. I hope bitches like that understand what they were out here promoting with their ignorant asses. Let's continue. Okay. Make America Skilled again. The budget proposal is to give states and localities the flexibility to spend federal workforce dollars to best support their workers and economies instead of funding taxpayer dollars to progressive nonprofits finding work for illegal immigrants or focusing on diversity, equity, and inclusion under DEI. Under this proposal, states would now have more control and flexibility to coordinate with employers and would have to spend at least 10% of their MASA grants on apprenticeship and provide a model that trains workers while they earn paychecks and offers a valuable alternative to college. The problem with this is I have no problem with people doing jobs as such. Everybody's not college material. I have no problem with people getting a trade. However, what's lost in the sauce is this sounds like they want to abandon unions. This is what this sounds like to me. Like so that no money would go to political parties that you don't agree with and all this bullshit. It sounds like they're trying to abandon unions and get people hired under the state. You know, the most of these states who are at will employers. Get the fuck out of my face with this shit. We know that Republicans hate unions. I don't know. This is what that reads to me as. Let me see. Here. Now, why are we putting this in our budget? Supporting space flight. Okay, the only people I know who are doing any space flights right now in the United States are the most rich men in the United States. So why should the United States budget goes to support them doing anything that they want to do in space? What the fuck space doing for us? And when they are able to achieve going to space, do you think that we gonna have anything in it? Are we gonna be the ones who gonna be launched into space to find a new horizon, a new place to live? No. Why the fuck my tax money going to support a motherfucking billionaire that want to shoot off motherfucking money into space and shoot off rockets that fall apart and they don't even have the decency to clean up the environment behind the rockets? Rockets just sputter and spitter out all over. And it is not even required of these billionaires to clean up the environment that they're in because they so forward looking. They're so forward looking and they're looking to charter a new horizon and all of this shit as they spitter poison all over the earth that they're living on. Okay, so support space flight. The budget refocuses National Aeronautics and Space Administration, funding on beating China back to the moon and putting the first human on Mars. The fuck I give a fuck about either of those things for? Beating them back to the moon for what? Who gives a fuck? Okay, but you well, after all of these other stuff, we supposed to be excited about this dumb shit you talking? And who does it benefit? Obviously, it ain't benefiting nobody in the United States other than the millionaires and the billionaires who you guys are giving these contracts to of the tax dollars that we spend. But you don't even want to educate our fucking children. But y'all children. I ain't got no children. Anyway, okay. By allocating over $7 billion for lunar exploration, including $1 billion in new investments for Mars-focused program, the budget ensures that American human space exploration efforts remain unparalleled, innovative, and effective. Oh, no, innovative and efficient. To achieve those objectives, the budget will streamline the NASA workforce, information technology services, NASA centers operations, facilities maintenance. Oh, so they just gonna have old nasty, old funky ass workforce, and construction and environmental compliance activities. They're not going to have these pesky environmental compliance activities. Isn't that grand? I did a story on Muskrat over in Brownsville, Texas, how these fucked up rockets that he had continued to shoot off, sometimes not even putting them on the schedule to be shot off, has ruined the environment over there in Brownsville, Texas, killing a whole lot of their native species over there in Brownsville, Texas. I'm not going to go look it up for you. I've already did the story. Go look it up again for yourself. It's out there. Now, to add to that story, Elon Musk has now incorporated, I think it's 1.6 miles of, has incorporated the land that SpaceX is on in Brownville, Texas. Now that SpaceX is its own town, and it was voted on, and it won. It won by. Not it won by 216 people voted on it, and most of them, where did they work? They worked at SpaceX. So now it is his own incorporated city. He's going to put some people in office. They're going to have their own makeshift office in Brownsville, kind of like that city in Northern California that. What is that? Steve Jobs' wife. Steve Jobs. Is it Steve Jobs who died? Is that Steve Jobs who died? I think it was Steve Jobs who died. Yeah, his wife and a couple other billionaires was buying up farmland in Northern California, and they wanted to, and then they brought it to the board how they were going to create this grand city, and it was going to be walkable, and it was going to be sustainable, and it was going to be this, that, and the other. And they went to the board, and they and when the farmers started refusing to sell their land to them, they wanted to take these farmers to court to sue them for their own land because they refused to sell them their own land. They started off as telling them they'll give them 10 million for their farmland. Then it went up to 20 million. Then it went up to 30 million. And some people still were refusing. And at that point, they wanted to take these people to court for not selling them their own land. And they had this whole city aligned with their own rules. They were not going to go by conventional rules. This incorporated city was going to have its own board members, its own rules, and they weren't going to go by the regular rules of the people. And they were still going, trying to push this forward because it seemed like they could get other people actually on the board, or they could buy people off the board, or they could, and then they pulled out. And then they said that they wanted to give it more chance to people to get used to it, and maybe they can get their own board members because they didn't know people in this town. So now they want to smooth with the people in the town and actually get some of their people voted into this board. The city council board. Anyway, it's a lot. So they want to go by their own rules. They don't want to go by the rules of the land. They want to create their own towns with their own rules. And Elon Musk has just by the vote of 200 and something people has created his own city, his own metropolis, shall we say. Okay, where am I at? Information at NASA. Oh, environmental. They won't have to do the environmental compliance activities. The budget also terminates multiple unaffordable missions and reduces lower priority research, resulting in a leaner space program that reflects a commitment to fiscal responsibility. Okay. Realign foreign aid. We're not giving any more Africans any food or anything like that. The weaponization and reduction and reduce violent crime. The budget ends the previous administration weaponization of the Department of Justice, instead prioritized the department's key function, combating lawlessness, restoring order to American communities. Is that, those black communities that you said that y'all was going to use the military for because black people have been asking for that, fighting crime and supporting American men and women in blue. So you're gonna be fighting crime, and meanwhile, you talking about you got problems with judges, and y'all arresting judges. Is that some of the crimes y'all gonna be fighting as well? I don't know. Well, who's to say? To that end, the budget proposes to eliminate nearly 40 DOJ grant programs that are duplicative, not aligned with the president's priorities, fail to reduce violent crime, or are weaponized against the American people. The budget reflects the president's priority of reducing violent crime in American cities and protecting national security by getting the Federal Bureau of Investigation agents into the field. You know, Kash Patel said that he would, if he was the FBI, over the FBI, he would turn it into a museum, and he would get the FBI agents out on the street fighting crime. So it seems like that is what they're doing. I played that for you prior to him even going through his confirmation. He said that he would get all of them, kick them off their asses out of DC, and get them out on the street fighting crime. You know, the most recent way that they got their asses out of the FBI office is that they were in charge of redacting the Epstein files. The FBI was, that's what Kash Patel thought, that the FBI needed to get off their ass and fight crime and go through the Epstein files and mark out data before they make this big fake presentation of releasing the Epstein files. You know, shit like that. Okay. So maintain support of tribal nations. Y'all can read that. Address drug abuse and mental health. The administration is committed to combating the scourge of deadly drugs that have ravaged American communities. So that's why y'all are defunding Narcan that has saved so many American lives. But hey, say what you want. The budget prioritizes Drug Enforcement Administration resources on traffickers of fentanyl and other dangerous drugs that are driving Americans' overdose crisis. So, and your response is to remove Narcan and defund Narcan. Okay, this includes redirecting DEA foreign spending to regions of criminal organizations that traffic significant quantities of deadly drugs into the United States, Mexico, Central America, South America, and China. The budget also proposes to refocus activities that were formerly part of the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration by eliminating funding for programs that duplicate block grant funding or are too small to have a national impact. So now, all of this whole paragraph was talking about drugs. And then in the last paragraph, they combined mental health services in saying that they will be eliminating funding from some program that duplicate block grant funding or are too small to have a national impact. So where did mental health come into any of all of this shit about drug shit? So they're saying if the mental health facility is too small, and we say that it has no national impact, it's because it's too small, we're going to close these programs. And if we have fewer programs that people can't get in, fuck it. Y'all just going to walk around with the crazy people on the street. Because you're not going to have a small program. God forbid the program be small. God forbid that the program is not so large that people are lost and can't get the help that they really need because there's so many patients there. Fuck a small program. Let them run rapid on the street. That's just what I feel about it. Okay. Support AI and quantum research. The budget maintains funding for research in AI and quantum information scientists as key agencies to ensure the United States remains on the cutting edge of these critical technologies development and responsible use. Well, to be quite frank, the quest for AI greatness that the Muskrat has proposed that he is going to have the greatest AI. Sure, he has been giving access to all of our data, all of the our banking, our health data, any type of data that he wants. Sure, he's the only one in AI who has been giving that access to data, who says that he will be the greatest person in AI. I don't believe that is going to be true, because he's starting off with all of these coolers that he needs to cool down his system, because he needs to put all of this information, store all of these information in racks and racks and racks of servers. And it's going to cost billions of dollars to create. So he's already behind the curve. He's already trying to send a motherfucking firecracker up into space on this one, because China has already done this, and they need none of the space to cool off servers or to even have all of these servers that Elon Muskrat is working on. And since we're talking about what Elon Muskrat is working on, let's go to Memphis, Tennessee. If you guys remember, I gave you the story of the muskrat in Memphis, Tennessee. What has happened in Memphis, Tennessee? Remember, the muskrat went to Memphis. Hold on, I missed a lot of. Let me know when the Lincoln's job, the space job. I have a few things to say about that. Hey, T. Danielle, let's talk about what's going on in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm going to drop my link. Now, I told you guys that Elon Musk he wanted to start his AI, I think it's called Gorg or something, whatever his AI is called, XAI. And he was going around to different places, and he just found a place in, I think it was February. And the very next month, he went on a mad dash to build the largest AI facilities. We've talked about how Facebook servers have ruined a community in Texas, I believe, with all of their swath of land that they're using to cool off these servers, and all this gray water that is taken to cool off these servers, and all the vegetation that they are taking down, and land that they are buying up, and pollution that they are polluting into people's well water, and all of this stuff. And they answer to absolutely nobody. So I told you about the story of the muskrat searching for a place, and he found Memphis, Tennessee, and he made an agreement to buy up all of this land with the mayor under a NDA. The city council knew nothing about it. He also met with the electricity company, and the electricity company, the only thing that they would say about their meeting was they had no agreement with the muskrat. So what's happening now? Months later, this was I think this was in March or April when this all started. Let me share this stuff with you guys. Let me see. Funding welfare. I think it's under funding welfare. What else could it be? Let me refresh your memory. Just in case some of you guys didn't know about this, we're going to have a little review on this, because I think it's very important that you understand the opportunities that they are giving these billionaires to do anything they want. Okay. Here we go. You don't believe me? Check this out.
Inside Elon Musk's Today on Forbes, inside Elon Musk's mad dash to build a giant XAI supercomputer in Memphis. As Ted Townsend tells it, Elon Musk took roughly a week to decide to build the new supercomputer for his AI startup, XAI, in Memphis. After a whirlwind few days of negotiations in March, Musk and his team, which included representatives from several of his companies, opted for the Tennessee city because it offered ample access to power and the ability to build quickly. This according to Townsend, who's the president of the Greater Memphis Chamber, an economic growth nonprofit that worked on the deal. XAI's contractors refer to the project as Project Colossus, and Townsend recalls Musk saying of the project, quote, "We're going to haul ass in Memphis." The project shares its name with the 1970 film Colossus, the Forbin Project, about an out-of-control AI that was given control of the United States nuclear arsenal. In the official trailer for the film, the narrator says, "Colossus sees all, senses all, knows all, controls all armaments and defenses. When this emotionless creation becomes the master of man, the result is catastrophic."
And catastrophic it has become. Hey, Tim Danielle, thank you, outspoken one. Thank you for helping me reach my goals. My goals are to tell you something that you may or may not know that would help you. That will help you in the your actual life. Hey, Regina M, Candy Cane. Not the Stop and Shop. LaShonda Allen, thank you for being here. They have released all the diseases that was eradicated, such as measles, polio, etc. So how are they saying they are making it better when it's about to get sicker out here? The lies they tell. Wow. If you guys want to review those budgets, that's why I made sure that I put them in the link. Outspoken one, I thank you for helping me reach my goal. So let's see. Now you're gonna see what they do say, that he did all of this under NDA agreements. Don't take my word for it. I got the story here.
The multi-billion-dollar investment, according to Townsend's estimate, was officially announced last month. But several members of the Memphis City Council are now urging the city to pump the brakes on the effort amid an upwelling of community concern about the secretive nature of the deal and the data center's requirements for electricity and water use. The council members alleged earlier this month at a public session that they were sidelined from the decision-making process, which was negotiated under NDA by Musk's team, the chamber, and local utilities and contractors, months before the data center's details were ever presented to them. The mayor's office and XAI did not respond to requests for comment. During a recent city council session, referring to the supercomputer project, council member Rhonda Logan said, quote, "This is already here and we don't know anything." She stressed the need to, quote, "slow it down and understand the impacts." Council member Pearl Walker told Forbes that the development has caused, quote, "hysteria among her constituents." At a Wednesday morning public meeting held by the city's utility, Memphis Light, Gas, and Water, she said, quote, "People are afraid. They're afraid of what's possibly going to happen with the water, and they're afraid about the energy supply. Memphis has had a history of bad deals, and it is very important that this is a good deal for Memphis. We have to do our due diligence and insist on things that are in our interests and good for us." After the Whiplash deal was finalized in March, construction began almost immediately on Musk's new so-called, quote, "gigafactory of compute." The supercomputer will be used to train XAI's chatbot Grok, a ChatGPT competitor that has increasingly occupied the multi-companied billionaire's attention. Musk recently troubled shareholders of his electric car company, Tesla, when he redirected shipments of valuable AI chips from Tesla to the generative AI startup he founded in March 2023. The next version of Grok will be trained on 100,000 NVIDIA H100 chips, Musk said last month, shortly after announcing that Dell and Supermicro
On what chips? NVIDIA chips. The NVIDIA chips that crashed when 45, 47 put those tariffs on. Peep all the game. He's using NVIDIA chips. These chips nearly failed during the announcing of these tariffs when the stock market was plunging. NVIDIA chips were some of the chips that were plunging, but I digress. You notice that they are worried about meeting with the electricity company and the water companies because it takes so much electricity, so much power to power these servers that they are using to these integrated service that they are using to make their groundbreaking most perfect AI and using billions of dollars in using up all our water supplies and leaching this gray water back into wherever they're leaching it to because they did all of this under an NDA. So where's this gray water that's coming off of all of these these electronic servers? Where is it going? I don't know. They have an NDA, but let's see what type of deal. Now these are the servers. These are the servers right here that you see. They have acres and acres of land just to house this. And he's supposed to be the best in AI. And China has created as of now, it has been said that it was the best AI. And of course, they're not giving it much attention that they have created for under $6 million, not billion, $1 million. All of the people who worked on this AI were born, raised, and educated in China. President Biden had a embargo against chips being made in China. That's why he created the CHIPS Act. So chips would be made in America, and therefore China. What did they do? They created their own chip. And some people say, "Oh, you think they didn't steal them?" I'm just telling you the information that is out here. What has been proven out here. Nobody has proven that they stolen anything. What they have proved is that they created the greatest AI that is even stunning people in AI over here. How good their AI is without having to have any of all of these servers, and they did it for under $6 million. I'm just giving you the story that has been put out here. I haven't heard any story to the contrary that has been proven. So they give the muskrat whatever he wants. Let's continue.
Will be providing the server racks. Rumors of xAI's data center have been circulating for months, fueled by Musk's May assertion that he would personally ensure the development of the supercomputer. This according to a report from the outlet The Information. By then, xAI had already approached Memphis developers and utility officials about locating its data center in their city. Townsend told Forbes that xAI was in talks with 7 or 8 other sites before choosing Memphis. Since March, Townsend's team made what he called an Avengers Assemble effort to, quote, meet Musk and his team's pace. He said that several chamber executives who negotiated the deal accepted Musk's invitation to tour a Tesla factory in Texas during the deliberations. He told Forbes, quote, they were courting us as much as we were courting them. xAI has made verbal pledges to improve Memphis's public infrastructure in support of the data center's development, a new power substation, and a gray water processing facility. xAI has proposed building both facilities itself, though the city's utility has said no contracts exist for these commitments. For full coverage, check out Sarah Emerson and Emily Baker White's piece on Forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.
Okay, So let's see when this was. This is. Thank you, Stomp Down, for listening. Thank you for gifting the membership. I appreciate you for gifting a membership. Let me see when this was. This came out 9 months ago. So let's see where we are today. Let's. I'm gonna share this with you right now, and let's check this out. Where are we today in Memphis? They faking you. They faking you out.
Installs quick and dirty turbines. Today on Forbes, Elon Musk installs quick and dirty turbines to power xAI's Memphis data centers. When Memphis, Tennessee's grid couldn't provide all the electricity needed to power xAI's new Colossus data center, the Elon Musk-led artificial intelligence company turned to a quick and dirty solution: mobile natural gas turbines. These power plants on wheels are usually a last resort during emergencies, not a permanent solution. For example, they were crucial in restoring power in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria left the island in ruins. But data centers around the country have started to use them as a stopgap solution. There are at least 4 at the xAI site, possibly more, churning out not only electricity, but pollutants like nitrous oxide and formaldehyde.
And they have no permits. They have no permits to run these. And they said they proposed that they will have 15. It's not 4. They proposed that they would have 15 of these, and they are not permitted to run these 15 as of yet. But they're allegedly running 33 of them in Memphis. This is not a secluded farm area in Memphis right now. This is why I want you to see and understand. Do you hear them talking about this on your national news? This is Forbes. This ain't no this is not no fly by night little media outlet. But how come they're not talking about this on Fox News, CNN, MSNBC? I ain't heard it on MSNBC either. Let's continue.
But shortly after the data center became operational, it became apparent to local journalists, along with environmental activists, that no public agency had actually authorized the use of mobile gas turbines that are powering it. Patrick Anderson, a lawyer with the Southern Environmental Law Center,
no permits. Nobody has authorized the use. No permits.
Wrote the Shelby County Health Department in August 2024, quote, to verify that xAI is operating these turbines without the required air permit and bring an appropriate enforcement action for failing to obtain a permit. xAI did not respond to a request from Forbes for comment. It wasn't until January 2025 that xAI's sister company, CTC Property LLC, finally submitted a formal permit application to the Shelby County Department of Health to not only backdate approval of the 4 mobile gas turbines already in operation, but to add 11 more. That would give the site 150 megawatts of power, on top of the 150 megawatts that the local grid is already providing it.
So they said they're 11. They wanted to backdate it from the time that they had been using it unpermitted, and they wanted to add 11 more, which would mean 15. And come to find out, I will tell you, I've already played this story. I think it was last week, where they are operating 33 unpermitted, and they wanted to just change the date on that. Cover us for the time where we were using it, where we illegally. Does that happen for you or I or anybody? And it's only EPA type of shit. It's only in Memphis of all God, for God's sake. It's just Memphis. Who lives in Memphis? Let's continue.
All told, that's enough electricity to power nearly 100,000 homes. This document was first obtained and reported on in January by the Commercial Appeal, a newspaper in Memphis. While mobile turbines are cheap and easy to deploy compared to conventional natural gas-based stationary power plants, which can take years to build, they are considerably less energy efficient, sometimes by as much as 50%. They're also much dirtier, emitting significantly more pollutants per unit of energy generated. Daniel Cohen, a professor of civil and environmental engineering at Rice University, told Forbes, quote, "It's very much a quick and dirty approach that's very wasteful, financially and environmentally. It's far more expensive to run your own gas generator than it is to buy electricity off the grid."
But he met with the electricity company. So obviously they couldn't produce the electricity that he needed. So instead of him doing it the right way, he said, fuck all these niggas that live in Memphis. I need to get on top of my AI shit. Because I've been up here cutting the government and fucking over people and being a whole motherfucking butterbutt fool, talking about DEI as if black people are never smart enough to do anything but servitude type of work, like that fucking cunt Nina is always over here, and some of y'all are all up this bitch's asses as if she's talking about certain people and y'all don't catch none of the motherfucking shade. Ugh. Anyway, what I'm saying is, I don't have a problem with her. I don't have a problem with her. I don't have a problem with her. Yeah, because you stupid motherfuckers. Yeah, because you're the most ignorant motherfuckers on earth. Yeah, you motherfuckers are some dumb motherfuckers. Let's continue. So I bet you Nina's over there laughing how they fucking tearing up gassing out bitches in Tennessee. Nina's my friend. Nina's my friend. I talked to my girl Nina. I talked to my girl Nina. I bet she's like, ugh, this ugly, dumb nigga bitch think I'm her friend. Let's continue.
But for AI companies in the growth at any cost phase of a transformative industry, mobile gas turbines are an easy stopgap for delivering the additional energy their proliferating new data centers require at a time when energy firms and stationary gas turbine manufacturers are backlogged to the point of near crisis. Tech firms don't even need to buy them. Companies like Solaris Energy Infrastructure and APR Energy rent them out for years on end, and they're cashing in on exploding demand. In January, Scott Strazik, the CEO of GE Vernova, the world's largest turbine maker, with a market capitalization of $88 billion, said in an earnings call that the company plans to build, quote, 70 to 80 large-scale stationary gas turbines in 2026, almost double the number it will produce this year. As easy as they might be to get up and running, in large enough numbers, mobile gas turbines are subject to stringent emission standards, particularly in areas that are already environmentally stressed, like the area in which xAI's data center is nestled. Despite this, the Shelby County Health Department told Forbes in a statement that, quote, there is no set timeline for approval of the mobile turbines at the xAI site. According to its application, xAI's sister company CTC Property claims that its proposed 15 mobile gas turbines would emit 9.79 or just under 10 tons of formaldehyde per year, a critical limit. Once any site crosses 10 tons per year, the EPA designates it as a, quote, major source of pollution under the Clean Air Act, triggering more regulation and monitoring, in part because formaldehyde is known to...
Shit, they ain't gonna even have to embalm people in Memphis. They can just pop them motherfuckers right in the ground. Right in the ground.
Cause cancer. Currently, CTC's application states the site...
they gonna have cancer, and they gonna be able to pop them right in the ground because they're gonna get cancer from the formaldehyde that they breathing in. But is anybody talking about this while they talking about giving motherfucking billionaires money to go to space? Who gives a fuck about space? I need some airspace to breathe.
Site is a, quote, minor source. For full coverage, check out Sarus Farivar's piece on Forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows.
Okay, so you have been advised where to get some more information about this. Now the cat is out of the bag. I played this for you last week. I just tried to give you information that could help you and how you live your life and how you comport yourself in the life that you are lucky to have to live, as it were, at right now. No, this is not the one. Let me reshare my screen. I apologize for that. This is the one that I shared with you last week, which will give you information of what they have found out, what Elon Musk is actually doing in the city of Memphis. Here we go. The name of this video is Musk is scamming the city of Memphis. Meet two brothers fighting Colossus, Musk XAI data center. I told you it's these data centers that these the best and the brightest minds of AI in the U.S. need all of these acreage of land to cool off their data centers. And surely Musk needs the biggest data center of it all, since he has all of the United States data, which was allowed to collect via 4547. Can you imagine? I played the video where they said that the muskrats were leaving out with backpacks of computers where they had downloaded information off of government computers. And they want you to think that they had read-only access. And this man who wants to be the best in AI, who's already 10 leagues behind China in developing AI, and he thinks what's going to do it for him is to have all of your personal information. You go to retire, all of your motherfucking benefits that you have, all of your motherfucking points at Social Security probably be wiped away, as if you never worked a day in your life. You don't know what these motherfuckers went and did up in these computer systems. You don't know what they have done to your data and information that is supposed to be private, that you gave them no right to have. And his whole business model is based on data. This AI shit is based on data. Let's see what he's doing in Memphis. That's that he actually signed a contract, non-disclosure contract. Nonetheless, he actually called himself doing actual real business on the up and up, as long as nobody can see business. Let's see what's going on in Memphis. I played this for you last week.
Massive data center known as Colossus last year. This company X, now called XAI, opened a massive data center known as Colossus last year that supports the chatbot Grok. The facility is next to historically Black neighborhoods and runs on 35 methane gas-powered turbine generators, which emit significant amounts of nitrogen oxide and other toxic chemicals. The Southern Environmental Law Center says the turbines are operating without a permit. Those permits are the focus of a Shelby County Health Department hearing taking place today, Friday, as Musk says he wants to continue to expand his project. In February,
and now he don't have no permits. He's running 33 of these engines, and talking about he wanted to expand in a historically Black neighborhood, not in the countryside. All of these are not up in them Tennessee mountains. In Memphis, a historically Black neighborhood. Do you think that is by design, or is just it just happened that way? It just didn't happen that way, that he started running these engines and as if he is so intelligent he can create AI, but he can't see a study, or he can't get research on how much formaldehyde he's emitting in the atmosphere in this historically Black neighborhood. Huh? Let's continue.
Elon Musk explained why he decided to build Colossus in Memphis.
Well, we needed a building. We can't build a building, so we must use an existing building. So we looked for basically for factories that had been abandoned, but the factory was in good shape, like the company had gone bankrupt or something. So we found
you need a building, but you can't build a building. Why? Why can't you build a building? Are you the richest man in the world, but you can't build a building? You can't supply what you need for yourself. You can't put no money into your own project. You can only take you put limited amount of money, and that's what the government that you get in these government contracts, Shirley. But you can't build a building, and you are worth over worth over $300 billion your goddamn self as an individual, not as a corporation, as an individual. But you can't build a building for your pet project. Houseway. Let's continue.
an Electrolux factory in Memphis. That's why it's in Memphis, home of Elvis, and also one of the oldest. I think it was the capital of ancient Egypt.
This is Tennessee State Representative Justin J. Pearson, a Democrat who represents Memphis.
AI, Elon Musk company, is operating 35 gas turbines in Southwest Memphis, in the neighborhood where myself and my entire family lives. This is horrific news. They are increasing the amount of nitrogen dioxide, which causes smog and continues to harm people with asthma by potentially 30 to 60%.
For more, we are joined in Memphis, Tennessee by State Representative Justin J. Pearson and his brother Keyshawn Pearson, Executive Director of Memphis Community Against Pollution. We welcome you both to Democracy Now! Keyshawn, let's begin with you, as you're quoted all over about what's happening in your community, Memphis, Tennessee, where Dr. King was assassinated April 4th, 1968. Memphis, Tennessee, where Elon Musk wants to build, is trying to expand Colossus. Explain what's happening in the community response and what you're planning to say today at the Health Department hearing.
What's happening in Memphis is a human rights violation. Elon Musk and xAI are violating our human right to clean air and a clean, healthy environment. Today, I plan to address the Shelby County Health Department in stating that this has not been a transparent process. This has been done in a clandestine way. And this is not the way that we can move forward healthily for our community. We need justice in processing. We need justice in the process. We need redress and repair. We don't need continual pollution. We've seen this story before where polluters come to our city, whether it has been TVA and their Valero plant, sterilization services and their ethylene oxide plant. We have continued to be looked at as the path of least resistance. Today, I will make and explain to our Shelby County Health Department that we are not the path of least resistance. We are a resilient community that deserves the human rights of clean air, clean water, clean soil, and a healthy environment. We should not continue to bear the burden of the negative health impacts of this facility and its rapid pace and movement. A phrase and a term coined by Leah Thomas, environmental intersectionalism.
Let me
explains
ask you,
how
I want to ask you, Elon Musk claims he chose the former Electrolux building in Memphis because he wanted to get his AI applications up as fast as possible within 122 days. He decided to use the abandoned building instead of a brand new one. Can you talk about what Electrolux was before the process it took for Musk's company xAI to purchase the building?
Electrolux was a company that scammed the city of Memphis. Electrolux came to our city and promised jobs, promised prosperity, similar to what xAI is doing, and then they left. They left without fulfilling the promise of jobs. They left without fulfilling the tax recommendations and the taxes that they said that they would provide that would elevate our community. They made promises and then they left and abandoned us. This is the same process that we've seen Elon Musk do in Texas as well as California. He will create a plan and then he will leave. And so what we're seeing right now is that this continual process is continuing to happen with a new tenant. Electrolux provided him the facility, and he is scamming the city of Memphis while putting out pollution.
Keyshawn, I want to introduce your brother. This is an interesting inside-outside strategy. Tennessee Democratic State Representative Justin J. Pearson of Memphis, well known to people around the country. The two Justins, the representatives who were forced out of the legislature, then reelected back in by their communities. Justin J. Pearson representing Memphis. Justin, thank you so much for being with us, State Representative. If you can talk about your opposition to Elon Musk and XAI, very interesting that your fellow Republicans who have a supermajority in the Tennessee State House recently passed a resolution recognizing Musk as, quote, a brilliant businessman who's saving lives and helping to restore America as a valuable ally of Donald J. Trump. Talk about your concerns about what this AI data center will mean.
Yeah, look, my concern is that Elon Musk is buying and paying for access to pollute, harm, and hurt our community. Unfortunately, our mayors and elected officials and appointed officials, Mayor Lee Harris, Mayor Paul Young, Shelby County Health Director Michelle Taylor, and the Greater Memphis Chamber all decided that the community of 38109, where I live, could be on the auction block for Elon Musk to buy. And it is a horrible, horrendous project that is having serious ramifications for our community. The reason that in legislation that my colleagues passed praising Elon Musk, I put several amendments, was to tell the truth, that Elon Musk is polluting the air of Tennesseans. He is continuing and perpetuating environmental racism and environmental degradation in our community. This project is an application for 15 gas turbines, but we know today that they have 35 turbines. And yesterday, a report showed 33 of those in operation, despite the fact that the mayor of Memphis said only 15 of them were being used because that's what XAI had told him. They are liars, they are abusing our community, and they're exploiting us. And it's having horrible ramifications. 17.2 tons of formaldehyde being sprayed into our air because of these gas turbines. Over 130 tons of nitrogen oxide, making them a larger polluter than the Memphis International Airport is happening right now in our community. And elected officials and appointed officials have a responsibility to the people who they were elected and appointed to serve, not to the billionaires and the oligarchs who are misusing and abusing their authority to hurt our community.
Can you talk about Memphis Mayor Paul Young after public pressure mounted, offering to earmark a portion of the roughly $15 million?
Okay, so if you want to hear the rest of that, go over to my community out in my description box. These videos are in my description box. Short news clips of how the rich have also tried this in California. I showed you a longer story on it, kind of like the longer story that I showed you about what Musk was doing in Brownsville. Let's take a look at this.
New city in rural Solano. A change of plans regarding the controversial plan to build a new city in rural Solano County. The issue will not go to voters this November. In a surprising development, the CEO of California Forever decided to pull the initiative from the ballot, at least for now. Here's NBC's Jody Hernandez.
Everything around us, as you
Despite claims they've got the support to win, the CEO of California Forever says he's pulling his initiative from the November ballot.
I think what the polling showed is that this was going to be a close election, and we feel pretty confident that we would win in it. But we just found a better way to work with everyone.
CEO Jan.
Okay, if you thought you would win, you wouldn't have pulled it from the you wouldn't have pulled your initiative and you would have let it be voted on this past November. We're going to get back to that. I started it backwards. Let's see how he came into this town. Here we go. Let's see how he came into the town.
Hello, everyone. We start tonight with new information on that possible land grab in Solano County. It's all for the new city, California Forever. Good evening. I'm Chris Thomas.
I'm Laura Painter. They're closing in on 60,000 acres of historic.
There's a documentary style thing. It's about 15 to 20 minutes. For the longest time, they didn't know who was buying up the land because, like Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook. They had all of this land that was being bought up by different LLCs. It wasn't the same LLC buying up this land. They buy up the land in many the names of many LLCs. This is their footprint, and this is how they get in. And before you know it, they own hundreds of acres of property in your and you gonna deal with it, or you gonna sell to them, or they gonna take you to court. Let's continue.
Farmland purchase. Our Devin Truby takes us to one of the family farms refusing to sell. Devin.
Laura, they're one of the biggest holdouts in Rio Vista. McCormick Sheep and Grain says they will not sell to Flannery Associates. McCormick Sheep and Grain is 3,700 acres near Rio Vista. They farmed the land since the 1880s. Albert Medved and his wife, Jeannie McCormick, left their lives on the East Coast to continue the family legacy.
The kind of crops that when the Ukrainian war broke out, people were concerned about that because of the wheat and barley. These are fundamental crops around the world. And in fact, what we grow goes into the world food system.
They turn over 1,500 tons of wheat or barley a year. 4,000 sheep live on the property during peak lambing season, and they're a main meat supplier for Neiman Ranch.
3 of those ranches are under suit.
Medved says his neighbors are being sued for their land by Flannery Associates, the parent company of proposed new city, California Forever. Their ranch is less than 5 miles from the Flannery Road, where Flannery Associates made its first purchase. If you look at this map, they're the massive circle in the middle of the proposed city, with access to the Sacramento River as a water source. After seeing 3 of your neighbors being sued, are you concerned
that sure. In one of the lawsuits, we are described as having relations with those who were being sued.
They were first approached in 2021 with a $20 million offer. Medved says it was cordial. They had a nice lunch with the real estate agent, saying they wouldn't sell.
It has a deep heritage, especially for my wife, Jeannie.
2 months later, Flannery increased the offer 50% to $30 million.
Well, some people benefited. I mean, they were ready to sell.
Is there any amount of money that would make you want to sell?
Sort of like asking the Pope, would he give up being a priest for $2 billion or whatever.
When ABC 10 spoke to CEO Jan Schromek, he told us they were done buying farmland, but many deals had not yet closed. As far as the lawsuits,
I really can't comment on litigation.
selling wouldn't just end the McCormick family legacy, but also another generational family farm they leased the land to for a vineyard. Farming in that region is also interconnected. They share resources and equipment. So if his neighbors being sued don't continue to exist, it's going to be a lot harder for those family farms to continue. Chris, Laura.
Yeah, what a story, Devin. Thank you.
One more update I want to show you that happened prior to them realizing that they were just not going to be able to barrel through and do whatever they wanted to these people before they decided to, let me see, to take it off the ballot in November. Did I show this one? Oh, here we go.
Acres from Davis. Solano County is made up of nearly 600,000 acres from Davis to Vallejo. Now, 50,000 acres in the southeastern part of the county belong to a group calling themselves California Forever, the parent company of Flannery Associates. It's been buying up land since 2018, and only recently has the company explained its plans with a website.
Now, this is a group of tech billionaires. Steve Jobs' wife, his widow, is one of these people who is building up this. Who is part of these people who are buying up this land to build this.
Filled with renderings of a community it envisions in the future. The website says, we have the opportunity to build a new community that attracts new employers, creates good-paying local jobs, builds homes and walkable neighborhoods, leads in environment stewardship, and fuels a growing tax base to serve the county at large. But Solano County's administrator says not so fast. Wednesday, Bill Emlin released a lengthy statement. In part, he writes, The voter approved general plan and orderly growth ordinance allows only for agricultural uses on the majority of land California Forever has acquired. Emlin says a ballot measure approved by voters would be the only way to change the ag land designation to proper zoning of urban development. The county administrator also points out land use policy has centered around the protection of Travis Air Force Base. He says beyond the ballot issue, there would also be entitlement and permitting processes involving county, state, and federal agencies. California Forever says it will ultimately ask the voters to approve any proposed project. Michelle Bandur, KCRA 3 News.
Solano County says the group has yet to submit any proposals or project information to the county. They have been meeting with some elected officials, including the Board of Supervisors.
Okay, so let's see about I hate to show these people, but I'm gonna have to show these people. Do the report on Elon Musk doing what they couldn't do in Northern California, because all of the people in the town work for SpaceX. So let's share. And this is now, I don't know if he's going to have his town follow the people who were trying to buy this land up in California said that they did not want to be governed by the Constitution or any of the American laws. That they would have a board that would enact the laws for their town. They wanted to live in America and not even be bothered following the Constitution. Who knows what Muskrat is going to do? I'm just giving you the information. Check it out. Here we go. So the people who are building a space in place in space are the only ones who deserve a good living. Let's continue. As y'all tear up Brownsville, Texas, all around y'all by shooting off these rockets and killing the environment in Brownsville, Texas, and the natural habitats in Brownsville, Texas, and shaking people houses and all of that in Brownsville, Texas. Let's continue. And what I don't understand, if they were not a city already, how did they get anything on any type of ballot and not allow the people of Brownsville, Texas, to have a vote on it? I don't understand that. Was that some special Greg Abbott bullshit that was pulled for employees to decide if the neighborhood that they lived in exclusively because they're renting from their employer? They are renting from their employer. It's not like they own these homes. How is any of this even legal without having the input or the vote from the town people who are also affected by the trash and the waste from this company? Can anybody tell me how that works? Let's continue. So he's excited that the people who actually work for him voted for this shit, who are renting his properties to work for him. Okay. That makes it don't take much to excite the muskrat. It appears. It definitely appears that way. So did I share that? It don't look like it. Did I share that? I hope I shared that. Did I share that, you guys? Hey, Church Mouse. I hope I shared that. Grand Rising, Church Mouse. Now let's get to let me get to Stephen Miller, whose company is suing Chief Justice Roberts of the Supreme Court. My last video I want to share with you guys. Yeah, it seems like they are trying to say that it is not the courts who have final say about what is and what is not law. It is actually the president. So the president is the person who can hold on. The president is the person who can say what laws applies to the executive branch. So why does he even have to ask what laws apply to the executive branch? Why? Because the Supreme Court already fucked up and told him that he didn't have to ask anybody to do anything as long as he felt that it was in his executive powers. So let's get this story right here. Let me share this with you. Stephen Miller's group launches attack on entire judicial system. Let's hear this.
We're here again, trying to cut through the absolute bullshit fire hose of information, the chaos, especially the stuff swirling around Donald Trump and his people.
It's relentless. And today we're diving deep into something truly alarming. A direct legal assault on the independence of our own federal judiciary.
Yeah, spearheaded by Stephen Miller, remember him, the architect of some of the ugliest, most controversial Trump policies.
So absolutely. And his group, America First Legal, or AFL, which, by the way, he supposedly stepped away from right before, wouldn't you know it, popping back up in the White House sphere.
Convenient.
Yeah.
And now this group, AFL, has filed a lawsuit, get this,
right,
against Chief Justice John Roberts.
The Chief Justice of the United States. It's quite a move.
So what's the argument? What are they even claiming?
Well, on the surface, their argument is that key administrative parts of the federal court, specifically the Judicial Conference and the Administrative Office of the U.S. courts, well, they shouldn't be part of the judicial branch.
Wait, what? Where should they be then?
They're arguing these bodies should actually be considered part of the executive branch and therefore under presidential control.
Presidential control of the court's administration.
Exactly. And it's important to understand what these bodies actually do. The Judicial Conference, it sets policy for the federal courts. Think rules, procedures, how the whole system is managed.
Okay, the policy side and the administrative office.
That's the engine room, the
Yeah.
day-to-day operations, the budget, the IT, managing clerks, probation officers, all the practical stuff that makes the courts function.
So they literally want the president running the operational side of the federal judiciary from the ground up.
That's the implication of their argument, yes.
And the reason they claim, this is about preserving the separation of powers and keeping courts out of politics.
That's the stated goal.
That is pure Orwellian doublespeak.
Right.
It's staggering. How does giving the president control over court administration preserve separation of powers?
Well, it doesn't. I mean, the entire point of separation of powers is that each branch checks the others. If the executive controls the judiciary's internal machinery, how independent can that judiciary possibly be?
You can't. It completely undermines the whole idea of a check on executive power.
Fundamentally. And there's another layer here. They're using Freedom of Information Act lawsuits, FOIA, as part of this.
FOIA. But doesn't FOIA apply to the executive branch, like federal agencies, not the courts or Congress?
Exactly. That's what the law explicitly says. It applies to executive branch agencies and independent agencies. The text excludes Congress and the federal courts.
So how are they using FOIA against the courts?
Well, it seems they're trying to argue these administrative bodies are effectively executive agencies or should be treated as such for FOIA purposes. But this isn't even their first shot at this.
They've tried this before.
Yep. They tried the same FOIA tactic last year, and the Supreme Court's own legal counsel basically told them, no, FOIA doesn't apply to the judicial branch. That's not how this works.
So they lost that argument, and now they're just doing it again against the Chief Justice himself.
Seems like it. Which
Okay, so do you guys know who Stephen Miller even is? Let me remind you who Stephen, a fellow. I don't know. You decide what. I'll let him speak for himself on who Stephen Miller really is, real quick. I just want you to know who we're speaking on. The Stephen Miller presenting Stephen Miller.
Being told that they cannot be expelled from our country without an extraordinary amount of individualized adjudication at the district court, circuit court, Supreme Court, up and down, up and down, up and down. No American citizen receives this level of so-called due process. Because it isn't due process. This is called infinity process to keep you here forever. Yeah. That's what this is.
Oh no, it's crazy.
No American citizen charged with a crime, with a serious crime inside the United States, a U.S.-born American citizen receives this kind of process. Birthright citizenship is the biggest, costliest scam in financial history. The biggest financial ripoff of Americans in history, not to mention the fact that it is the #1 magnet for illegal immigration and invasion, and that is used by foreign governments to conduct espionage against the United States.
For those of you who don't know, remember who Stephen Miller is, there you have it. Stephen Miller in his crazy work. Hold on. I think it's one more. He Stephen Miller is crazy from way back. Here we go. This is the one I want you to see. He's going to sue the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. But let's see what Stephen Miller has to say. Let me see. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Nobody don't have. I apologize. So, there's a lot of talk about, do I have this? Let me see if I have 4547 doing all of this talk about if there's a, I think I do have it. I'll be able to find it. Hold on. Hey, Church Mouse. I think it was you, Church Mouse, who said that you had joined, you had unsubscribed to someone because what they said about Chief Justice Ketanji Jackson Brown, or Brown Jackson. If you go back on their page, he snuck and he was getting ribbed on that whole post, and he went back and took that off of, he took the comment off and he changed the comment on that post. So let's I just wanted to let you know that he, but he should have addressed what he did in saying what he said. Now we're gonna watch 4547 make a fool of himself in his video with Christian Walsh. He says a lot of crazy things. One of the things that he said is about the what's that? Yeah, he reiterated the doll situation. But one of the things that he said was about a recession. She asked him if he cared if the things that he was doing would put us in a recession. After him saying that everything that was wrong with the economy was because of Biden. Let me share my screen with you. And let's check out 4547's interview and the things that he says. So it seems like he doesn't really give a fuck about if this country goes into recession, because why? He'll be fine. As someone just said, he's earned $3 billion in this presidency alone, with all of his grifting, with not following the emoluments clause of the presidency, where he is not allowed to make money off of being simply being the president. We know that he has been dipping and dabbing and shystering. The Secret Service in DC has to stay at his hotel, which pays him, all of this type of stuff. So let's watch this interview. Why don't we? Let me share this with you guys and see what you think of 4547.
Economy. It partially is right now. I think when does it become the Trump economy? It partially is right now. I think the good parts are the Trump economy and the bad parts are the Biden economy.
He actually said he thinks the good parts are the Trump's economy and the bad parts are the Biden economy. Of course you do. Because you're an idiot. Of course you really think that. Let's go further and see what else he has to say. If you're not subscribed to Alan Mokler, I suggest you check him out.
Tariffs have only had negative effects on the economy. And let's watch this clip of him talking about CEOs who will raise prices. Here's Trump continuing to lie about the tariffs. By the way, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. I'm currently doing a video on the road. The breaking news never stops, no matter where we are. So let's watch this.
But what people don't understand is, and this is a lot, the country eats the tariff. the company eats the tariff, and it's not passed along at all.
Well, some CEOs are.
The country eats the tariffs, and the company eats the tariff. Which one? The country or the company? Which one? Who eats the tariff? The country that you put the tariff on, are they the ones who eating it, or the company who are getting products shipped over, and they have to pay the tariff to get their product shipped over, and they don't pass it on to the consumer? Really, bitch? Shut the fuck up.
They're saying they're going to have to pass it on. So how do you deal with those CEOs?
But the company,
He just said it doesn't get passed.
It may. No, you just lied. The country eats the tariff, and the company eats the tariff. And but many CEOs said that they will pass the tariff on. It may, and then what? It is.
country eats the tariff. The company eats the tariff, and it's not passed along at all.
Well, some CEOs are saying they're going to have to pass it on. So how do you deal with those CEOs?
But the company,
He just said it doesn't get passed along, then he said it may. But also, it necessarily needs to get passed along. If you're importing something for $100,000 to sell, but then there's a $100,000 tariff placed on it, that means the total price was $200,000, and you're gonna have to sell it for more if you ever want to make a profit. And of course, businesses need to make a profit. Does he not get any of this?
it's not passed along at all.
Well, some CEOs are saying they're going to have to pass it on. So how do you deal with those CEOs?
But the company,
How do you deal with those CEOs?
China is eating the tariffs right
What do you say to those CEOs who are saying we might have to pass this on to the consumer?
Well, they say that because maybe it's to their advantage to say it.
Will
Maybe
you
they
punish
don't-
them?
No, because you know what? I want them to build plants in the United States. That way they don't have any tariffs.
If you want them to build plants in the United States, you can do many other things. I mean, dude, Biden passed the chips.
Okay, so they're saying it to their advantage. What advantage does it have to them to say it? And if they're shipping something from China and they say that it's going to cost more, and we're going to have to cost us, it will cost our consumers more money. What the fuck make you think just because they're selling a product that they want to be in manufacturing of that product? Everybody who sells, who get product shipped over here, who you think that everybody that gets something shipped over here wants to be in manufacturing of the products that they're getting shipped? Really? Let's continue. I just want to talk on his little silly points. You guys can go over there and check out Adam Mokler. He does great work. Okay, let's see where we at.
It's not going to work. You need outside capital investment. There's never going to be outside capital investment, though, if you have an unpredictable ass economy, and that's what Trump has created. Let's watch this clip of them talking about due process. And Trump doesn't even understand the fundamentals of the Constitution here.
Everyone who's here, citizens and non-citizens, deserve due process. Do you agree, Mr. President?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
You don't have to be a lawyer to
I don't know. I don't know. What did the Supreme Court tell you though? You do know that. You do know that. If you don't know this, you know that. Since you don't know, why isn't the man back? Because the Supreme Court told you that you didn't give him due. And while they're at it, how come they didn't send all of the people back? Because none of them got due process. See, this Supreme Court wants to have it both ways.
understand that the Fifth Amendment specifically says all persons have a right to liberty, not citizens. It specifically never says citizens. It says all persons.
Well, the Fifth Amendment says.
I don't know.
as
It seems it might say that.
Don't you need to uphold the Constitution?
I don't know. It seems it might say that. A whole fucking fool. I don't understand why are we in this situation in America. I think he likes dumb voters, and a whole lot of dummies came out here pontificating on the greatness of this man, and look what these idiots have gotten this country into. A whole bunch of fools, total and utter fools had voted this person in or sat on their asses and allowed this person to get voted in, because they don't give a fuck about their lives or your lives. If they don't give a fuck about their own lives, you can't expect them to give a fuck about your life. They don't give a fuck about their children's lives. You can't expect them to give a fuck about the life of democracy in this country. Let's keep it a buck.
Of the United States is
I
president.
don't know. I have to respond by saying again, I have brilliant lawyers that work.
He just said he doesn't know if he has to uphold.
Now, if you have brilliant lawyers on your team, your brilliant lawyers would have told you, yeah, that's part of the Fifth Amendment. And that's why 9 out of 9 Supreme Court justices said that you must give this man due process. Are we to believe that he don't know? Or are we to believe that he's trying to show his authoritarian streak? Let's continue.
The Constitution. What in the hell? Now, I debated about this in my recent Jubilee debate. Check out me talking about.
All right, so that's all I got on that. Let me see if there's something. I think there is a little something else I wanted to share about this interview. I played that one already. Hold on 1 second. I think there's one more thing that I want to share with you guys. Oh, Japan threatens to crash the U.S. Markets over tariffs. Japan says that it has the nuclear bomb that they can use on America, and not in the form of a physical nuclear bomb, that they own so much of the American bonds that they can get rid of them, and it can ruin our economy. So the Americans better respect them in these tariff negotiations. That's what they said. Now, let's talk about is 4547 going to sue the White House for the way he edited, for the way the White House edited a broadcast, this interview that he did. I doubt if they are going to. He sued ABC or CBS or one of them because he said that they edited out Kamala's interview, and he was suing them for $50 billion, would it be dollars for editing their interview. So the White House, this interview that he did the other night, he did it the other night. It was aired last night. But this was the lead up to the interview. And when the White House presented the lead up to the interview, they cut it off 15 seconds early. So let's see why the White House edited this interview from 4547. Let me share this with you real quick and show you what they did here. Show you what the White House, they wanted to let you know that he was having an interview. So this is Luke Beasley. We caught what the White House is hiding. Let's check this out.
101, right? He takes the fake news, pow, 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 like Hulk with the guy. Rapid Response 47. You can show this Rapid Response 47 account on X, and they're hyping him up. They're saying fake news. NBC asked the question, and then Trump responded a beautiful answer. So let's watch the 38 seconds. Shortly, this provides the notable moment from this section of the interview. Let's listen.
Some people on Wall Street have expressed concerns that the possibility of a recession is increasing. And I want to know what you think about that. Are you comfortable with the country potentially dipping into a recession for a period of time if you are able to achieve your long-term goals?
Well, you say some people on Wall Street say, well, I tell you something else. Some people on Wall Street say that we're going to have the greatest economy in history. Why don't you talk about them? Because some people on Wall Street say this is
Well, that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at, though. It's the same question.
Yeah, there are many people on Wall Street say this is going to be the greatest windfall ever happened.
So that, according to Rapid Response 47, Trump staffers is Trump beat down 101, right? He takes the fake news, pow, 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 like.
But see, she's a horrible interviewer because that wasn't what you were asking him. Talking about, well, why don't you go the other way? Some people say it's the greatest. Well, that's what I'm getting at. No, bitch, you were getting at he was ruining the economy. You fucking weak asshole. Let's continue.
Hulk with the guy, and he doesn't have any of their nonsense. But the interesting thing is, number one, like I said, if you extend the clip, you'll see what.
So they shortened the clip. This is the entire clip. The White House says the fake media was making noise about his answer to this question. In the meantime, they shortened the clip right there. This is the whole clip.
Procrastination was ruining my life.
You're going to hear the whole clip. So is the White House going to hold themselves responsible for editing this clip like they tried to hold ABC or CBS responsible for editing Harris's response out for brevity because she repeated the answer to the question? Let's find out. Let's see what the answer really was.
What you think about that? Are you?
Oh, by the way, if you appreciate this show, please do click the subscribe button.
Comfortable with the country potentially dipping into a recession for a period of time if you are able to achieve your long-term goals?
Well, you say some people on Wall Street say, well, I tell you something else. Some people on Wall Street say that we're going to have the greatest economy in history. Why don't you talk about them? Because some people on Wall Street say this is.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at, though. It's the same question.
Yeah, there are many people on Wall Street say this is going to be the greatest windfall ever happened.
And that's my question.
Remember
the
this.
long term.
Yeah.
Is it okay in the short term to have a recession?
This. Look, everything's okay. What we are, I said, this is a transition period. I think we're going to do fantastically.
Is it okay to have a recession in the long time? Look, yeah, everything's okay. I said we were going to go through it. No, you didn't. You said no such thing. And this is bullshit. They edited, they wanted to promote this fucking fucked up interview that you did where you made a whole fool of yourself, not just on this occasion, but on many occasions throughout this interview. Go check this interview out if you choose to. Let me see. Is he the one who has more of the fuck ups in this interview? No, it's not. I did that. Okay. So go check out Luke Beasley. Go check out this interview. It was quite interesting. So I see I have some comments. The great businessman who bankrupt a casino of all things. Trump lost more jobs and money than competitors' casinos while always going through more bankruptcies than any other major businessman in America. Exactly. Where does it go then? Exactly, Church Mouse. Where does it go? I'd be surprised if he makes it to the end of his term. Liar can't pick a story. I'd be surprised too. They said they were going to break the economy. And that's what Project 2025 is going to do. I truly believe that the plan is recession as well, if not depression. I believe I believe my thumbnail that they have back the trucks up to the White House or the administration, as it were, and they are robbing this nation blind. That's what I believe. That is why that is my thumbnail. All of the policies, all of the overt corruptions and money grabs, all of the opportunities to have anyone give any amount or types of money to this man through this cryptocurrency that he has that has no regulations on it. The only regulations on it should be that he is not even allowed to have a cryptocurrency. So it is what it is, and this is what it is exactly right now. What it's going to be by 5 minutes after I get off of here, God only knows. I have more clips in my description box that you may want to check out. But if you want to check out the ones that I played earlier, please avail yourself to them. Oh, let me see something. 1 second. I forgot to do this earlier. I wanted to do this earlier. Okay, I've reached 2 of my 5 goals. I appreciate you guys for helping me reach my goals. I greatly appreciate that. I am going to, right now, I'm going to have a members only live, not right now, but I will be doing a members only live. If you would like to become a member, just show up to the members only live. I just gave 5 Z Sarah, Diva D, Tay Forever, The Real K Fit, and Black Pearl. Okay, so I'm gonna give a membership live out. I'm gonna have a membership live sometime soon. And if you're interested in winning a prize, I will be, since it's almost June, well, it's early May, it's almost June. For those of you who are interested in winning a prize, I will be giving away one of these little garden benches for a winner. If you're interested, show up for the membership live, and we will also do a little more talking. I noticed Luke edited that post now to respect the justice. I didn't notice it was written by someone else. Thank you, Church Mouse. Yeah, Church Mouse was the one who came in and told me. You're welcome, Z Sarah. Oh, I didn't know it was. Well, wow. That post was from an article written by someone else. We don't need distractors adding to the noise. Well, I didn't go further. You know how it says see more? I didn't read the whole entire post. So that could be why I took it as it was him writing the post himself. So thank you for letting me know, Church Mouse. But I still said what I said. I said what I said. I said what I said. Thank you guys for joining the live stream. I appreciate your participation and coming over here and kicking it around with me for a while. And don't forget, when I have my members only live, I'm going to try to do it before the 15th of this month for sure, because flowers are going to be, mine is still coming up out of the ground. They're getting taller and taller, but I want to see some bulbs, damn it. I'm going to have to go. I started them from bulbs, so they are coming up, new. I didn't start them from already little flowers or anything. So they're brand new. It don't seem like I'll see these actual bulb on the stem until maybe late June or something at this rate. I don't know, but the leaves are growing up quite tall. So I think I'm going to go out and buy me some flowers sometime this week so I can decorate my little flower bench. So I hope you guys come out and try to win a bench with me. I think he needed a tap on the shoulder. Howdy there. Just read my book. So that's it for me. I hope you guys have a great remainder of your day. And I'll see you guys around these. Maybe I haven't been around the YouTube streets that much. But go over and check out Very Carey. Very Carey had a contest yesterday between T. Danielle and TC. She also had a great live earlier in the day that was very informative. Go check out Very Carey. Let me put Very Carey's link in the chat so you guys can go over there and be sure to check her out. She's back to her games. I don't know if she put it in there already. She can beat me to it, but I'm going to put her link. Oh, God. Let me see. When was this? I'm not going to even say anything, Very Carey. I'm just going to say you were being nice. Sometimes Very Carey is extremely nice to people, and she'll allow them to come up and say hi. Somebody with a bucket hat and a bucket mouth and bucket gums. I don't know. That wasn't the first thing I was expecting when I went over to her page. That's Very Carey's page. Go over there and check her out. Ditto. I've been at Very Carey. She's been making me laugh. Very Carey is very entertaining, very good, and she makes you think as well. And so I thank you guys for being here. I hope you guys have a great remainder of your day. And that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. It was a lot, but it's gonna be a lot. I'm trying to shorten this. That was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday's worth of mess. I'm trying to shorten this down to the point, but a lot of shit has gone on, and some of this shit I got to make sure you understand that these rich people, they trying to get away from y'all common folks as they take all the money that they can out of government. They're trying to get away from you. I don't know what y'all think this is. All right, guys, have a good day. All right, bye-bye.
In the morning when I'm driving, I really come alive when I listen to my Ronnie Q. They are rare and they are few who can compare with Ronnie Q. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air. It's time for Ronnie Q.